Why isn't it going? Well, for some reason the intro isn't playing, so we might not have
Boom.
videos today. Hey
I
everybody,
love it.
welcome to this week's episode of Hold the Mic. We are your hosts. I'm Ryan Shead. That's Ian Sherman. Brother, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm getting my early two-step with Buns in the group chat. So, I like
Is she already in
when
the group chat?
she's already in the group chat, man.
Already in the
She
group
stays
chat.
ready. She stays ready. It's like
You
two
know?
fine hands. Lord Jesus. It's like, here we go. What's up,
Can't,
guys? Welcome to our Wednesday.
It came up with a thing that says can't play video. Please contact support.
Well, there we go. There
Well,
we go.
thanks for
Hold the
that.
mic. Always having technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
There it is. There it is. We are still at the amateur hour, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do.
Yeah, yep. Year plus in, and oh, there's the things.
We'll be back.
Let's see. Oh, it's still not okay. Anyway,
All your new toys.
We
See how
have
this
quite a
works
show
out?
today. We went back and forth of what we were going to do, because we have a show planned for showing the correlations between Project 2025 and what we thought was going to happen and what is happening now. But once we did the outline for it, we saw that it was going to make a good actual pre-record. So we're going to do a really good show for you guys on that, and then we're going to go live and talk about it after we release it. So we're going to do something really cool with that. So today, there was so much news to pick through that I'm sure we aren't going to be able to satisfy all of you. If you want to drop something in the comment section that you want us to comment on towards the end, we'll try to do that. But we're going to try to go through as much relevant things from the week as possible. But every day is enough content for an entire show, so bear with us.
Aging over here. Let's be
Oh,
serious.
brother. So before we get going, though, man, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's it's been a week. It's only Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's the best way to
Hasn't
put
been
it.
a month yet?
It's
Jeez.
oh god. It's look. You know what? We made it to 100 days. Let's just say that right now. We made it to 100, and look at the glorious life we live in America. Here we are. Very fruitful.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
fruitful.
Yeah, 100 days. What a shit show. It's
I'm
been
just waiting for cholesterol to do its thing. That's all.
cholesterol, anything at this point. It doesn't have to be cholesterol.
Oh my god.
Anything.
It is what it is. But yes, we have a show outlined. And guys, we are going to work on this Project 2025 piece. What it really does break down is what was already implemented from it, especially from a president that was campaigning saying that he knew nothing about it, to what is actually coming down the pipeline. And so we want to really break down and give it some room. Ryan and I talked about the news coverage is so consistent. Like it's this pump and dump is what's happening. And I talked to Ryan about this earlier today, where I said, we need to slow the tempo. We need to give some stories, some more room. I love the live vibe. I love rocking with you guys. We have such a dope community. And you guys really do chime in at the best times. Buns, you were definitely brought up in the green room, so thank you. You bring a lot of, you entertain. Let's just say that. In the best way possible.
I was about to, and we're just going to let her stew on that for a while.
Stew on that. And so it's one of those things where, we really want to slow the tempo down and give some weight to certain topics that we feel need to be digested, and also not allow them to control the narrative. As you see, a lot of things are happening consistently, and even how they're playing with the tariffs, which we'll jump into. When you're looking at how they're really trying to walk this back from all the missteps, and you have all the knuckleheads talking about 4D chess, and even the brighter ones talk about 5D chess because they don't understand how dimensions work. But whatever. Not going to touch on that. We don't have enough time today.
Nope.
Not going to touch on that. But my point is that we really want to give some breath to certain stories, and one of the main ones is going to be Project 2025, how it started, where it's going, and allow you guys to really also digest it. So we're going to bring all the fun, all the antics of what Hold the Mic is, but it's going to be a special. So stay tuned.
Yay. But with that, that's not the only breaking news we have today. As we were coming on, it was sent to my phone that we have a deal with Ukraine. They've made a mineral deal So it seems our support will continue for Ukraine for now. As Ian said, I think we shall see.
Yeah. I mean, we can break down a little bit of that, especially from what we witnessed with Trump's failing of stopping this on day one. You
Yeah.
know, when you're sitting here texting, Pootie, stop. Like you're not winning. You're not winning. You're not winning the debate. You're not winning
Did I
the
say
war.
a different country than Ukraine? I might have. There's, like I said, there's so much stuff.
U.S. and Ukraine mineral deal. It did happen.
Yep.
So far, they're inking the deal, and they're going to figure out what those resources, what those materials look like, what those minerals look like, and how they'll be divvied up. But it's also letting Putin know, like, we might be getting in bed with Ukraine. So
I find this really interesting that we went from, I think, what was it? Not even a week ago, Trump's basically saying that Zelensky needs to cough up Crimea and a few other areas to get this deal done. And now Zelensky's signing a mineral deal with us, getting into bed with us after.
Well,
I don't know, man.
The three things that happened with that is Trump gave Pootie everything on the wish list, and Pootie was like, "I want more." And so Trump was like, "Wait a minute, I thought I was the one who's in charge. My man's over here making statements that he's the leader of this country and the world. You know what I mean? This is coming from Trump."
Yeah.
So when you're making statements that you're the leader of the country and the world, you're about to have some other big fish who are going to challenge you. And so for you telling Pootie that he can have, Crimea and all this other stuff and whatever's on the wish list, and the lines that were now redrawn, that was not good enough. So that lets you know what kind of land grab that was. And so that happened with him and Pootie. Pope dying. And the meeting that Trump was forced to have because Trump walked into that church quiet as a church
like
mouse.
a church mouse, baby.
But guess who the uproar was for? And I mean that in the best way. People cheering, clapping, completely breaking silence for Zelensky walking into that church.
Even a narcissist would notice that.
Feel it. They would feel that in their soul.
Yeah.
Because those church halls were ringing. Yeah. And then on top of that, that sit down conversation that they had at the Vatican. And the Pope told JD, bitch, you're going to hell. I'm the people's Pope. You going to hell. I know, ugly. You going to hell.
And not only that, it's the last thing I'm saying.
It's the last thing I'm saying. It's like straight up. So I mean, with all that kind of going on,
but the good news is
really there.
The good news is that Trump has said that, thank God, because there's just no other better option, that he would like to be the Pope.
I don't even know where this is going. Is that real?
Oh, it's not. Yeah, it's real.
Stop.
It's real.
Are you breaking news right now?
It's not breaking news. It happened like yesterday, the day before.
That's breaking news to me.
Yeah, dude was literally like, "Oh yeah,
I don't live in the Matrix.
I'd love to be the Pope." Like, I'm sitting there going to myself,
wow.
This again is
he just wants to trigger everybody. He just wants to trigger everyone.
It's like,
see, this is why I don't get sucked into the bullshit. This is why I turn off your TV.
But it shouldn't be coming from the president. That's my whole point.
Look, man, he's not a president. He's a convict. He's looking for his Hail Mary. He's trying to get to heaven, okay? He's not getting in.
Well, I've already told you. What did I say was going to happen? Now, my timeline might be a little off, but what did I say was going to happen? That Donald Trump is going to resign at some point, and he's going to get pardoned by JD of a syphilis.
Man, I like the overshadow more, but yes, it's all there. It's all there. My man's like a chunky Sith Lord is what's happening there. Yeah, I could see something around there, but that's too soon. What you're talking about is
definitely
like
too soon.
Like the week of January 20th, 2027. Before
it's either going to be that, or if they keep pushing and they push too far, he may get to a point like around midterms where he has to resign to save midterms.
I don't think
so. It's either going to be that. Well, it doesn't mean they're going to do it
with the No, I'm saying with the tempo that they're going. Midterms is coming up real fast, and
can we talk about the tempo?
Everybody, you've pissed off everybody. That's all I got to say.
But I mean, guys, we're 100 days in, and I mean, I know we joke around a lot, but like these weeks feel like months.
Yeah.
Like the news cycle is so heavy, and so negative and so divisive. And it's like, it's every day. Like the groups that we talk to, the other creators, other podcasters and stuff, like we're all feeling it. Like
Stephanie
it's just,
quoted it right here, just what he said, that asshole.
Stephanie C.
Yep.
So Stephanie C. direct quote was, "I'd love to be the Pope. It would be my first choice."
That's what Trump said. Thank you.
That's what the
Stephanie.
president
Thank
of the
you.
United States said.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, hey, you're already president of the United States. There's no other place to go but up.
Up there. It's definitely down. It's definitely down. Highs are high, lows is lows.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Hey,
no, you're right. There's
Satan
so much,
was an angel at one point.
there's so much of this shit that is kind of going on, and it's when you're sitting there and you're looking at it, you really kind of take it all in. And like I said, it's there to overwhelm. We talked about it. It is
for
there
sure.
to really just I miss the days that I didn't know what the fuck Joe Biden was doing. Was he napping? Was he saving the world? Was he doing this? Was he ordering eggs? What I mean that in the context of like fighting a bird flu. Like, what was he doing? I didn't need to know. It was all being taken care of. Things were happening. Now, mind you, the GDP, everything was all going. Some people were affected. We understood that there was a K-shape economy post-COVID, meaning some went up, some went down, depending on what industries you were in. Hospitality really suffered. A lot of things that happened that people did not get the opportunities that others were afforded. But now you're looking at the back end and you're seeing a lot of white collar jobs being eradicated by AI. So I do think there's going to be another reshifting. The only thing I do know that is 100% is how wealthy the rich were and how much they have gained since. And that's the thing that we are not really discussing as a unity of people. The amount of money, wealth that really exploded underneath COVID and also leading up to, modern day, what's happening with all these cryptos.
No, that's a good point too. Hey, our buddy Jacob's in here. I did not know
what up, Jacob?
I did not know that you were a comic book artist.
What?
I did not know that.
See this.
Yeah, you need to send us some stuff. Send it to me in my DM.
Matter of fact, I need you to hate on Ryan and make some fan art, and I need you to make Ryan a supervillain, okay? And I need you to post it and troll this man because a lot of people in his camp be making dope art of Ryan. Matter of fact, make both of us. Make a hold the mic comic book strip.
Are those people considered part of my camp though?
Oh, they're part of your camp. Anybody who is that psycho, that like a Stan, Eminem Stan, okay, that's gonna go that far to make some
start signing some starter hats.
You better start.
I wrote it on a starter cap. Ryan as Magneto.
Yes, get it.
Oh, good Lord.
See,
fan art. Please tell me there's more. Oh, Angry. I've got to send you. I know he still got it. Somebody did a like Picasso-esque photo of me, and it was my face made out of garbage bags.
It is everything.
It's the best one so far.
I've even turned his photo into my artwork.
He turned what into?
And that's his caller ID. Every time it calls,
it looks like Mr. Bean, though.
He's like, "Is that Mr. Ryan?" I go, "Something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that." The version that I like.
That one you
like
should definitely hit with the spider web.
Oh my god. That is the villain. That man is the villain. It's so good.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's so good.
But no, so I'm personally a little surprised that Ukraine made the mineral deal, but I hope it helps them achieve their objectives, because that's the most important thing at the end of the day. So if Trump got what he needed out of it, great. As long as Ukraine gets what they need and Trump doesn't renege on his deal, then great. Real quick before I lose this, I want to also point out that Ian, you said this a second ago, and when they sat down in the Oval Office, the one thing that President Zelensky was trying to get through to him and J.D. Vance was that you cannot trust Putin to make a deal and stick by it. He's like, we've tried that avenue, we've tried diplomacy, and he always reneges on it. So it's like, finally Trump, for for whatever reason you said, he has figured this out now and has decided, like you said, here's the thing with Trump. He's going to go wherever the popularity needle is. So, like Ian said, the minute that he saw the popularity and the way that they received him at the Pope's funeral, it was like, oh, maybe I should sit down with this guy and, come up with something. Whatever. It's done. Like I said,
Well, just during that ceasefire when he started bombing
yeah,
Kiev,
yeah,
and that's when Putin, he typed when you're writing on your Truth Social, like, Pootie, please stop. Like you look weak for first and foremost.
yep,
That is not a strong individual. You look like what your favorite demographic calls a beta, right?
yeah,
And it's one of those things where it was Putin flexing on everybody. Yeah, we have a ceasefire, but I'm going to go ahead and drop these bombs on and murder civilians, and it's tragic because that's the moment on the world stage that Trump felt what Vladimir Zelensky was saying in the Oval Office.
yep,
So there's those moments that didn't all play together.
yeah.
And
You're
you see
right.
how that really goes. Everything he said happened, and so now here we are, and so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But here's something that I really want you guys to all think about. Everybody, with Trump's first 100 days in office, does it really mean anything? Not really. I mean, but it's this thing that was created, right? Um, to give direction of where a presidency or this administration is going to go. And we see how he's using it right now. He's flexing, talking about shit that doesn't matter,
Yeah,
and how he tries to scapegoat under Biden. Biden hasn't been around in how many months?
yep.
It has nothing to do with Biden.
And what did he put out today?
We'll get into it. And this is the thing. This is the thing, Ryan, that gets me so much about this with this man is that he's sitting here in the most important seat of this country, and it used to be in the world. I'm not going to say the world anymore. We've removed ourselves from that position. We are alone. We are really, and I'm not even going to say a continent. We are a country alone because North and South ain't fucking with us like that no more.
No.
And these deals that have been implemented with these tariffs, we are going to feel it in a couple of weeks. This is the harsh reality. The amount of shipping containers, 200,000 empty shipping containers arrived at the American coastline from China. We are about to feel it. They said Barbie shot up 42%. I said, okay, all right,
Good Lord.
here we go. It's going to be certain things that starts with, but then it's going to really start to really expand. And you have a Ford dealership that's trying to give friends and family deals on their vehicles, trying to get everything off their lots because they have an understanding of what's about to happen. So, not saying it's a good car. Who knows? Whatever they're pushing. But
we bought our new car a few months ago because remember we were having all the car problems. Both our cars that we had just paid off like a year or so ago, they both started having issues at the same time, and it was like we need at least one car that we don't have to worry about right now. Yeah. And so and same thing, we had to sit down and look at our finances and be like, okay, but it's going to go up. We know the prices are going to go up at least 10%. So do we want to pay that price? And we don't know if it's going to stop at 10%.
Right.
So we decided, let's just kind of like stick with the problem. Yeah. And so we knew what they were going to cost. We said, screw it. It's probably not going to go back down. So let's just do it.
It's interesting because, and it's Ford made this deal because they're trying to move some weight. But this is the thing, and Stephanie's touching on it. Ford just said that the tariffs are a good thing for the automotive industry. Trump just did a amendment to his tariffs.
He reversed it.
He just reversed a lot of it, and that was leading up to the conversations he had with all the CEOs. Plus, keep in mind, Musk is in his ear, and that was going to affect his entire operation with Tesla. So yes, the automobile industry has been saved, just like also Apple iPhones have been saved because Tim Cook was in his ear. And this is the part where you got to ask the question of how to debate or talk to nudge Trump. Is it to be is it Janet Mills, the governor of Maine, or is it to be a governor like Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer? To be combative and tell him I'll see you in court, or to be like Gretchen Whitmer and have just a binder in your face, standing in the Oval Office as they're signing away executive orders. Different approach gets different results from Trump. It's always the last voice in his orbit that gets things moving. You and I were talking about this. I know we'll jump into more stuff, but it's a lot of things. It's a lot to just see the chaos of this administration. how do you maneuver it? And that's what we're all kind of figuring out. You and me, especially Ryan, how to combat it, how to fight it, how to get into some shit. Like what's the best way to do it? Because
Yeah.
you do see results on one end where it's like, okay, but if I go ahead and am straightforward, like, fuck this dude, what kind of result are you going to get from him on that end?
Right. You know, and you're not wrong. Like, I don't want to completely dismiss that. I just think I'm at a different point in terms of I'm looking at this whole situation of what are our options, right? So I see all these people out there talking about impeachment, and it drives me insane because it's pointless.
Yeah.
And hear me out. So if we impeach him again, now first off, we don't have control of the House, and we sure as hell don't have control of the Senate.
Yeah.
And right now, J.D. Vance is the tie-breaking vote. So even if we could get a couple of senators to come on our side, if it's only one, J.D., there's just all that we don't have the numbers to do it.
Right.
Even when we had control of the House, we couldn't get it done. So we impeached him. Senate didn't convict. So even if the House did manage to get it done, they're not going to convict him in the Senate. They're not going to get him removed from office. So all it's going to do is it's actually going to fuel his base even more, because they're going to say, see, the Democrats are coming after him again, because it doesn't matter. Like, they've proven to us once and for all, voting for him in 2024, after everything that had happened, after January 6th, after the Hollywood video, right, after the deposition of him misidentifying the woman he raped as his ex-wife.
Right.
Like, he's a felon. He's a rapist. He's an accused pedo. And these people went, yeah, still better than the educated and extremely qualified black woman.
Yeah.
Who, oh, by the way, told you that everything that's happening right now is what was going to happen if he won. Like, there's videos.
Oh, she is drinking her water.
Compilations. Fuck that. I hope she's drinking wine, baby. I hope she's sitting at home just being like.
The saying is, I'm going to drink my water and mind my business. That's what she's doing.
I'm telling you.
She not be bothered with any of this
shit. Hillary Clinton, and I'm going to throw Elizabeth Warren in there. All three of those women should be going out and having drinks and being like,
they're at brunch.
We tried to tell them.
They're at brunch.
We tried to tell them.
They're hanging out. They are posted up.
I mean, let's see if it'll bring it up. So pictures are working. So just look at this.
Yeah.
Black men understood the assignment. Latino men decided that misogyny was more important than their freedom.
I'm gonna say Latin men may have hated a cousin or two, because they definitely voted to get they ass deported. So here it is.
You know what? I've thought a lot about it, and I really do think it's the misogyny. I think for every group it was something different. I think for them it was, think about the way that they treat women in generally speaking, but it's like part of the culture almost. Well, and it's like, you can look at the vote and it's like, please tell me. Let me push back on
you, though. Let me push back.
No, push back. But just hear me out. Just hear me out real quick. Okay. But it's like, you have the community, and it's like, tell me exactly what it was about this woman that you thought this dude that is potentially rounding up your family, or people you know, co-workers of yours, who knows, but people you know and people that look like you, that he's rounding you all up, that he doesn't treat women, doesn't view women the same. It's like, you tell me what other possibility is there for that many Latino men to vote for a fucking rapist and a pedophile, an accused pedophile. Again, they like to talk about Hunter Biden's laptop and all, and the diary of Joe Biden's daughter, Ashley, and it's just like, but you guys completely ignore that.
Right.
Like, there's actual court documents. It's not some sentence in a diary that was stolen from a room. There's court documents. There's witnesses that testified in court. They wrote it out. And if you go read that, and you can stomach reading what it says, and then go say, yeah, I'm still glad I voted for him, then, like, you're a psycho.
And you bring up a really valid point. And when you look at the fact that people were like, one choice voters, one issue voters.
Single issue voters, yeah.
Single issue voter, thank you. Abortion was a huge thing with the Latin community. That's a huge factor. But it's I always
because they're
kind of
Christianity,
toggle. I always toggle behind, and it's the highest demographic that's becoming Christian.
Wasn't this just men? This was Latino men.
This is just men. But that's a big
still,
thing.
It's still,
daughters, sisters, moms, whatever the case is, realistically. But one of the biggest things that I always think about with that is you're looking at American men that are Latino descent, right? We're not talking about Mexicans who came over here, who are working here, who are like, I could vote. That's not how that works, right? So it's still a American mentality. It's still an Americanized kind of culture. And that is what we have to understand about you and I, what we've survived through, right? What we've grown through, what we've shed ourselves. And there's a part there where it's the machismo that is there, that is Trump, right? Yeah. He's there at the UFC matches. He's there with literally the McMahons, who are WWF. This macho machismo BS that's there, that over sexualizes women, that over sexualizes
draft dodging coward.
Complete. And but the main factor that I think about with Latin men in Mexico, they voted for the most sophisticated, beautiful leader. First time ever woman, I believe she's a doctor. Is she a doctor? But Scheibom.
I'm not sure about that.
But highly educated. And really on the forefront and doing wonderful things for Mexico. So yes, part of the culture. But when you say part of the culture, I think more about American culture than anything else, because people are just trying to fit in, right? Yeah. They're just trying to literally become Americanized to the main extent. One of the biggest things that got me about the Latin vote for Trump is literally the videos that are coming out now, where it is the FAFO, when you really start seeing what your vote has unleashed on you, your neighborhood, your actual community, and you're like, oh, but I didn't vote for that. No, but you did.
You did.
Because you didn't pay attention. You didn't read the fine print. And actually, a lot of that wasn't fine print. A lot of it was bold.
Right out in the wide open.
It was right there. It was on billboards. It was in your face. You just chose what you wanted to read and what you did not want to be a part of. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, they still do it. I've been posting it. I still post it every day. And it's like, I continue to say it's one of the reasons they hate me online, because I say every day, Donald Trump is a convicted felon. He's a prolific business fraud. Yeah. He's an adjudicated rapist, and he's an accused pedophile. He's a 5-time draft dodging coward. Like, there's nothing good about this dude.
Yeah.
So
Stephanie has what Scheibom, by the way.
She has a doctorate in energy and engineering. Oh, engineering.
Yeah.
So she's much smarter than you and me.
She's all about keeping this planet around a lot larger. Without the human effect of, yes.
But it's just, like you said, these people, they know who they're supporting. Yeah. And they're okay with it so they're okay with all of these things.
Yeah.
As long as it's somebody like Donald Trump or it's somebody they support. They're okay with somebody like Elon Musk having, 14 children from 5 different women, or however many it is.
The nuclear family of 2030. 3030.
And it's always the Christian accounts with the crosses and all that shit in their bios.
We need to spread our seed. Get the fuck out of here.
You're supporting like the Antichrist.
So gross. Oh God.
Yeah, he won't even get a. You want to know why Donald Trump won't get a dog? Because dogs know fucking evil. Dogs know evil, and he knows damn well that they'll sniff out his evil ass, and it don't matter if you own the damn dog or not. I bet you walk into the room, the dog would just be like, "Oh shit, just go the other way." Like, fuck that dude.
They'd be fighting over the McBurger or whatever. They'll be going after that Big Mac.
Stephanie said because the dog would take attention away from him. That might be better.
Facts.
Oh, I love that.
So true.
That's funny.
So true.
Yeah, it's, again, I will say the same thing I said after he won the election. And I think I said it in our first episode back. I hope this guy would succeed, because again, when Donald Trump falls on his face, when he fails, when he gets us into deals that only hurt us, that only hurts all of us.
Yeah.
We all pay the price. If it's high gas prices, if it's high grocery prices, if it's high tax, whatever it is that he's doing to screw us over, we're all paying the price. And most importantly, here's what I want to ask you. And just think back to being a child, trying to hide something, just anything. You might have read that Amazon was going to show how much added cost was on each item due to Trump's tariffs.
That's correct.
They were going to put it on everything so that if there was a tariff increase or tax on said item, it was going to show us, the consumers, so we would know.
Yep.
Okay. So Amazon was going to do that, which got a lot of support. And then all of a sudden, within, I think it was like 24, 48 hours of it going public, Amazon reversed course and said they were not going to be doing that. So what do you think about that, bro?
Well, I think that this is the whole point of oligarchs and their faithful leader. When you're looking at the aspect of Amazon first and foremost going out and being like, yeah, well, we don't want to get blamed for this. We do not want to get blamed for having increase, because everybody, the writing's on the wall. It is going to happen. We are paying the tariff, period. And but yet for some reason people still want to be in the la la land of not understanding how tariffs work. And to Amazon's credit, they said, no, we're going to itemize where this increased price is coming from, so it's not put on us. So that's called someone looking after their own ass, right?
Yep.
That's cover your ass policy right there. But it wasn't until the assault that took place, the verbal assault in the White House news briefing, where they literally called out Jeff by name and literally, talked about how this was a political attack on Trump and blah, 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 and all this other business. And mind you, this man was at his inauguration. This man was donating millions of dollars. He just literally Amazon put $40 million to Melania Trump's documentary.
Tell him, bro.
It only costs $3 million to make a documentary, ladies and gentlemen. Does not take much to do it. So $40 million, a little excessive. Let's be serious right now.
It's almost like shooting up, news personalities and music superstars into space for 12 minutes.
Yeah, there's no burn marks on the
no burn
ship,
marks, no nothing.
Nor does the door open in the way that would handle pressurization.
Bro, I had a friend.
Whatever.
I had a friend that called me up and said, "All right, because I know you're one person that would actually know this." He said, "Did that thing go into outer space?" And I was like, "No, it didn't go into outer space." No. I said, "It went to the tippy top." I go, it went almost into outer space. Right. I go, and it went weightless
for a second.
It went weightless for a few. I go, but outside of that, I go, it was just like that ride that you go on Cedar Point or or Disney, where it just goes up and then you get to go down real slow and see the view. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Creating space, ladies, creating space. Yeah, I mean, but it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all the bullshit. And so and Jeff, we were talking about this. Jeff is not even actually running day-to-day operations.
Yeah, he's not even the CEO Amazon anymore. I think he's just on the board.
For him to get a phone call and for him to put pressure on his entire team there to be like, hey, you guys need to remove that. But I'm glad that made news. I'm glad that is out there. Like, hey, this did happen.
Because it shows that Trump is strong-arming people not to show what is happening.
Use the word, man. Extortion.
Yep.
It's all extortion.
More important, I got one better for you. And again, Ian and I are not trying to start a cult, so feel free to always go Google us or AI check us, whatever you want to do.
Fuck that. I want to start a cult. I'm seeing the results. Okay.
We may actually need to start a cult. I may need to change that talking point. We are starting a cult now.
We're starting a cult.
We're taking applications.
Because if Megan's going to follow this
idiot, if it's not tropical punch Kool-Aid, do not drink
fine.
it. No, it's goddamn. You lost me, man. I don't know where I was going now.
Not starting a cult.
Oh, we're not starting a cult. So Trump literally said, I think it was today. He said, well, kids are just going to have to learn that maybe they won't get 20. I don't know if it was stuffed animals or whatever he used, but it was toys. They'll only be able to get a few. And the parents are just going to have to deal with the fact that those toys are going to cost a few more dollars. Bitch, I told you. I want you to go back to my Instagram right now and go see the most viewed video and go see the comment sections of all the haters that said, this isn't going to age well. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Bitch, I took economics in college. Yeah. That's why I knew that Trump was full of shit. And exactly what I said was going to happen is happening. So I fucking told you, you know, maybe if you guys listen to people like me and Ian and those of us who spread the same message, we'd be in a hell of a lot better position. But for some reason, you want to keep listening to con artists like Donald Trump and Elon Musk because you think that they're smart. Elon Musk has the fucking personality of a sixth grader. Like, and I wish I was kidding. Like, the guy's not funny. He can't give a speech. He stutters worse than Biden on a bad day. Fucking, are you serious? And Donald Trump, he speaks like he's trying to talk to a group of fifth graders, and even they would struggle to understand what the hell he's trying to say. And you guys, you just keep buying it. The GDP came out today, and we went from a pretty steady increase of 2.4% over each quarter to now we're at a negative fucking 0.3%. Like, he literally wiped out all of our progress. And it's literally, we're already, with 100 days, we're already heading down. Like, the economy is already starting to crash. And like Ian pointed out about 20 minutes ago, if you go look and you go Google and read the news and you go look at the videos of the ports that usually are full of boats coming in with product that gets shipped to guess where? Your front fucking doorstep. They're empty.
Oh, Ryan, we lost you.
Uh-oh. How about now?
Yeah.
How about now? Good.
Up. There you go.
Good?
Little stiff, little robotic. Got a robotic dance. Hey. Now you're good. You're looking all right.
What's going on?
I don't know, but that was one of the nicest Ryan rants. First off, that was like I see you're just beginning your thrust.
But seriously, this is.
There you are.
What we're seeing right now is it's fascism. There's no other way to put it. You know, like I really don't understand how anybody at this point can't simply go look at and read history of what happened during World War II and what led to World War II. There are so many similarities. Like, it's not a joke. You know, we aren't, you know, I'm not Howard Stern. I'm not fucking Alex Jones. I'm not sitting here trying to be a shock jock. This is our fucking reality. And we need not just the world, but we really need Americans to figure that out. And we need to figure out what we're going to do about Donald Trump, because going back to impeachment, it's not going to work. So if impeachment's not going to work and we can't get rid of this guy, what are the options? Because right now we had 15 Democrats that voted to confirm Perdue to ambassador to China.
Yeah.
So this is the same guy that lost the election to John Ossoff in Georgia. So
in the special election. Yep.
And 15 Democrats voted for the guy, and one of them being Cory Booker.
Yeah.
So, I want to sit out on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial for these awesome video fucking photo ops. Mm-hmm. And then you turn right around and you go in for a vote and you vote for Donald Trump's picks. So if impeachment's not going to work, and this is where Ian and I differ a little bit, then I think it's time to shut it down. I know some people think, oh, well, we need to keep a functioning government. The government will not exist soon if we don't do something.
Yeah.
So just to keep pushing the can along in the interest of keeping our government functioning, knowing damn well that we have a fascist and wannabe dictator in charge that is literally tearing down our economy and alienating us for our allies so that he can keep us isolated. Yeah, you're damn right. I want to see my Democratic elected officials play hardball. So I would love to see you guys stop fucking voting to confirm all of his appointments, especially when they're loyalist douchebags. Like, look what happened to Pete Hegseth. Look at Tulsi Gabbard. Look at the appointments you people have already confirmed and how well those are going. And you guys are just going to continue to fucking do it?
There's a couple things
I want to see some elected officials that have some balls. And I want to see some that are going to go in there and tell them, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to vote for your agenda. I'm not going to legitimize Donald Trump. And you all can go fuck yourselves. If you want my vote, get rid of Donald Trump and get some serious people in your goddamn party, and then we can talk.
This is now, I'll say this. This is where we may disagree a little bit, because here's the thing that I find interesting. And I'm going to ask you this question. I want you to think about it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get back to you for the answer. Was Chuck Schumer
Oh, sweet. Hey,
right?
Meredith.
Shout out to Meredith. You want to talk
awesome.
about like a high school crush? There she is.
She was a high school crush. That's awesome.
What up, Meredith?
She was always cool. She was always cool to me.
She's dope. She's a great dancer.
Yeah.
You guys are the same field.
Yeah,
same
yeah,
dancing, right?
yeah. She was amazing dancer.
Ballroom and everything.
Yep.
She did everything.
She's great.
Could not do the robot. What's up, Meredith? Let's step your game up. I'm gonna throw some cardboard down next time I see you. Let's go.
That's because we can actually dance.
Don't get it twisted. All right, I'll have you guys.
There aren't many things I can be cocky about. That's one thing I can be cocky about.
Have you looking like Australia in the Olympics? Okay, calm down right now.
Oh,
yeah,
bitch!
I said it.
Oh, see, now Robbie's gonna have to bring you home for the high school reunion.
Your high school reunion.
Yeah, we'll throw down.
Right. So to my point, was Chuck Schumer? Let's not digress. Was Chuck Schumer right by
which part?
By leaving the government open, voting to keep the government open, and to and this is, you don't have to have an answer yet. Don't have an answer yet.
Go ahead.
What do you think about this? I want to know if Chuck Schumer was right, because a lot of the battles that we're seeing right now are taking place in the courtroom. Right now, he has more court cases against him than any other president within the first 100 days, because of how many illegal steps he's taken, steps he's taken, and how here we are. So that's one thing. Next thing I'm going to say to you is the Democrats stepping to the side and allowing this train wreck right now to happen, because we're watching train wreck after train wreck after train wreck with this administration, because it's a bunch of idiots who have their hand on the hot button, right, touching the hot stove. But they are continuously. When you mention Pete Hegseth, complete fail of an individual, complete step down, as we talked about in last episode with Mr. Nance. You know, when you look at those things of qualifications, he put the absolute worst of the worst that were loyalists. But you're watching how this is just running up into a wall, not up into the wall. And you're watching how there's nothing that is focused, and also in a way, when we talk about history, nothing being implemented to that caliber. And so when you're watching this unfold, Ryan, I ask myself, is the fight right now taking a sidestep, letting this train wreck happen because Trump is the first I don't want to say first, but I will say, being the 100 days that he has been in office, he has not passed one single legislation at all. It's been nothing but executive orders. And I want everybody to think about this. Everything he's doing can be literally undone with the stroke of a pen. Yes. And by whatever the next administration could be. Not will be, but could be. So anything and everything he's doing is just, I remove everything Donald Trump did, and it's done. It's over. There's nothing in law. There's nothing that's happening. It's all trash. So it's all fake in a context of actual leadership. It's not real law being passed. These little amendments, it's not even an amendment. It's a fucking executive order. So with that, the biggest thing that they're trying to pass right now that they cannot is this tax bill. And that's the biggest thing that is on their plate. And they can't even rally everybody together because they have to cut Medicare, Social Security, all these things to pay for the taxes for the wealthy. Once again, it all leads back to that system that's there, right? Have and have nots. When you're looking at this, I really ask you, was Chuck right when you're looking at how it's a lot of these judges who are stepping in and challenging these federal judges who are shutting down what's going on? This is the part where I'm really thinking about it, where it's like, you know, I do give credit for Chuck for slowing the tempo down because we all wanted blood. We want blood. We understand. And this is not me screaming for violence in the streets, but more so, we are looking for that action. The biggest news that came out right now, Ryan, that I know we want to kind of touch about also, is looking at the factor of Jasmine Crockett could take over in the committee seat because my man is stepping down, who you and I really agreed on that he should not even been there voted in January. His name slips my mind. He's the one with the cancer, and he's actively trying to fight having cancer.
Yeah.
So what is the case that's there? Could Jasmine Crockett take that seat? That committee would be also checks and balances, holding these people accountable. So this is the stuff that you really have to think about with that. Now, me talking to you about it, if we get to midterms, Jerry Connolly, thank you, Stephanie. If Jerry Connolly, when he steps down, because it is not a if, it's a when, will Jasmine, who is the vice chair to that seat, would she just step in and take over? Would she be voted? Because everybody loves Jasmine. Everybody loves what she's doing. She is being weaponized in a way that we need now more than ever before.
But as we talked on the show a few episodes ago, she's also been pulled into the principal's office by the higher ups in the Democratic Party and told, you need to...
They can't stop her. They can't stop her.
It's not the point of whether they can or can't. It's the point that they're trying.
They pulled her. They pulled what's his name? Dave Herzog, the young man from Florida that survived Parkland school shooting. They're pulling all these people in, trying to rally them up. Guess what, Democrats? You are literally going to fail every step of the way with this new generation coming up. What's his name? David Herzog?
Yeah, but no, he didn't get pulled in by congressional leadership. Jasmine Crockett actually got pulled in by congressional leadership.
David Hogg got pulled in and told that he would have to leave the DNC. He got his into the principal's office.
Leave the DNC for what?
They said because he's challenging actual Democrats for their primaries. He's talking about primarying any Democrat that's in the way of progress.
Right.
So he's actually starting something also on another front. All I'm saying is all these dots that are being connected right now, and they cannot stop this process. It is unfolding and happening. So yes, Jasmine was pulled in.
Those are two different
David
things.
Was pulled in.
But yeah.
But my point is that it's the progressive movement within the Democratic Party that is challenging the norm.
That's the problem. It's not within the Democratic Party, because you just said he's getting booted out of the Democratic Party now because they're going to boot him out.
We, the people, are the ones who are going to be stopping this stuff.
But you're not going to stop the Democratic Party from doing what they do. The way you're going to stop it is that wherever he goes, whether it's registered as an independent, whatever he decides to do, you're going to go there. It's not going to stop the Democratic Party from fucking themselves, which they figured out how to do.
Apple got rid of Steve Jobs until they needed Steve Jobs. And
Apple
and the
just
Democrats
got caught with their hand in the cookie jar pretty good today too.
Well, that's a new administration at Apple. I'm talking about just Steve Jobs in general. With that meaning, when you're looking at the Democratic Party, I mean, we have enough time to have these little civil wars, these little battles happening within the DNC. But I mean, you and I, we went, we're independent at this point.
But honestly,
right?
man, that's the problem. Like, that really is my whole fucking problem, is why Donald Trump is burning our fucking country down, and the world, really, all our allies.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party can't even get their fucking shit straight. They have so many factions trying to obtain power right now within the party and outside of the party. Like, seriously, bro, you and I have been doing this for over a year. You've been following me on social media for a few years. I have been more loyal to the Democratic Party than most registered Democrats, and I've been an independent for 2 years.
Facts. Yeah.
Go look at how I campaigned for Kamala Harris and other Democrats, and for the last 2 years, I've done so as an independent. And I've been more loyal to the Democratic Party and Democratic candidates than a lot of Democrats and registered Democrats out there. So it really should be more about the actions than, are you a registered Democrat? I'm going to vote for whoever I think the best person is. And usually that tends to be a liberal.
Yeah.
But hey, if a Republican comes out there and decides to find the middle ground, I'm going to listen to him. But I've always been that way.
Right.
We just are living in a time right now where it happens to be pick a side time, and it's a pretty easy choice.
Well, that's a perfect segue into what we just witnessed with Governor Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan. How do you feel?
I'm sorry, was I supposed to wait for you to ask how I felt about that?
Tell us how you really feel.
I'm sorry,
brother.
Go ahead. Finish your sentence.
Tell us how you really feel. Is that a Ryan Rand about to come on? That smooth jazz? What was that, man?
It's probably coming. But I think that that's a pivot, if you don't mind if I take it.
Take it, boy.
I think that that's a good pivot, though, from what I was saying. Like we got Cory Booker, Amy Klobuchar, Ruben Gallego, Alyssa Slotkin, Fetterman, Gary Peters, and a few others. Like they're voting to put his cabinet picks in and ambassadors. And it's like, what the fuck? And now, then I see video of our home state governor, on the tarmac with Trump, oh, hey, how you doing, Bob? Come on, man. Like, Gretchen Whitmer, like, Big Gretch was supposed to be one of those Democrats that was going to be like, you know what? Fuck you, dude. And that's what I expected. Like, that was the vibe I thought she was bringing. But now we've got, this. Is it over yet?
Is it over yet? She actually said she wishes she didn't do that. She actually said that.
Yeah, and so now she goes to the tarmac and kisses the guy's ass. That's what she'd rather do.
So I know we disagree on this, and this is the part where I find it interesting. You want to talk about 4D chess? This is a woman who survived a militia planning attack on her, who were, I believe, pardoned.
Yes, and they were what?
White supremacy.
And they supported
Donald Trump.
Thank you.
Yep. So what better way to cozy up with your enemy, my brother? What is it? What is it? What is it saying?
Keep your enemies closer?
Yeah. So here's the thing.
I don't have it in me, bro.
Here's the thing that I find masterful about Big Gretch. A woman in politics who's literally doing leaps and bounds, doing great. She's a purple state, so it's a swing state, and she's making majority of people happy, which you understand. It's the same state that is, don't tread on me, but also the same state that is liberal enough to where she put it in law saving abortion, and everybody was for it. So it has that duality, right? The reason why I'm for this is that she was working on this deal with Biden. She's been working on this deal for what actually unfolded the entire time. So she was trying to lock this in. So she's thinking bigger than 2 years, 4 years, 8 years. She is about that life. She says, I'm trying to solidify my constituents in the state of Michigan to keep this here where the people can have the jobs, the search for liberty, the search for, happiness. She wants to keep that in Michigan. She doesn't want those jobs and that to leave the state. So I give her props for that. The whole thing with whatever that stunt was, the face covering, all that stuff, which thank you for doing it. That's actually amazing.
I didn't have that plan, by the way. I just happened to have that folder there.
It's always the best. But this is where I give her credit. And this is what I mean by it. We know she's no ally to Trump, but she's getting what she needs for her state. And that's something I give her a victory for. This is not a Trump victory. This is not, Trump is winning everywhere he is. No, and they can say whatever they want. It was Gretch who literally was on the search, the hunt to get this done, and she got it done. And I give her that credit. I give it to her.
I mean,
she ate crow. She ate crow to get this done.
And that's my problem. That's my fucking problem right there.
But that's politics.
She ate fucking crow.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
You have a brand new camera. We are very close to you right now.
Dude, you're going to see the pores and the hairs in my fucking nose. I know it's fucking politics, and what I need everybody to understand is the only way we're going to beat this guy is to do things that we have never fucking done. We have to do things that are going to be uncomfortable. Fucking war is uncomfortable. And if you don't get it yet, we're already in the middle of a civil war. It's already begun. Like, it's not a fucking joke. So, again, if you can't impeach the guy, if you can't depend on your elected officials who've already come out and done videos at town halls saying that they're afraid to go against the president.
Yeah.
Well, bitch, if you're the person that's supposed to hold him accountable, then what the fuck are we supposed to do? So, again, I ask all you people out there, you good folks that listen to this podcast and that'll probably see this clip, what are we going to do about a lawless president who happens to be a convicted felon, an adjudicated rapist, and a prolific business fraud, that we can't get him out because the people that are supposed to protect us that we voted for are too scared of him?
Right.
So then it's up to us online to hold him accountable and fact check them, because we can't count on the White House doing it, because they just put, a bunch of photos on the White House lawn of brown people to fearmonger off of and make it seem like they're doing something, when I don't even know where any of the photos, even actual mugshots, Ian.
No, that was just family photos, Facebook,
family
whatever.
photos.
Yeah,
outstanding.
Yeah.
So like they didn't really fact check anything of who these people actually were. Just like Donald Trump doing an interview and saying, "Oh, it had MS-13 on his fist," and they go, "No, that was photoshopped." Yeah. And he loses his mind. Oh, and by the way, the person that has an actual mugshot hung it up outside of the Oval fucking office. So again, I ask you people, what are we going to do? Because right now, having Gretchen Whitmer and Cory Booker come out and say one thing and then kiss this dude's fucking ass sure as fuck ain't getting it done. So I'm going to need you people out there that call yourself Democrats, liberals, independents. I don't give a fuck what you call yourself, but if you call yourself an American, I need you to get the fuck up off your ass. I need you to use your phone. I need you to call your representatives, tell them to stop being scared little cowards and do what they were sent there to do, which is to hold the president accountable, to oversee our budget, to keep us out of fucking wars. Jesus Christ, you're letting this dude tariff everybody to death, and the American people are going to pay a 20% fucking increase on goods. And that's on a good day. Yeah. Oh, but hey, if gas stays at $2.90, who gives a shit, right?
In Iowa. Yeah. It's like, who the fuck lives there? Right. A lot of land. Ryan, I love your Ryan rants, man. And I'm so glad that is a thing. If this is your guys' first time to the show, welcome to Hold the Mic. That is Ryan. I am Ian. This is definitely a Ryan rant. That is actually, you curbed yourself a little bit. I thought you were going to go somewhere, and you're like,
a little bit. You caught it, huh?
But I was straight like, facts. Straight facts. That was not a U-turn, but just a little skirt to the side. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. We're here every Wednesday. As you see, Ryan is ready to throw down on all fronts, and so here we are.
Well, like Bunny said it when you said something earlier about wanting blood, and she said exactly what I feel. I still want it. Like I want this to be done.
Yeah.
I want the people like Jasmine Crockett. I want the people like David Hogg that are ready to fight, that are tired of the bullshit, that aren't going to sit there and play politics and oh, let me shake your hand, even though, we all know you don't really support. No, show them. Fuck you.
Let me ask you, and this is the part where it's being a tactician. Do you want to be, if we're going to use Godfather, for example, Sonny, or do you want to be Michael? I know you're
Both.
Sonny. We know you're Sonny. We know you're Sonny. We know.
Both.
We know. But I'm more like Michael. And I'm like, how do I get you and make it personal? And I think about that. How do we get up close and personal with it? Because here's the thing. We have all the time we need between now and midterms. There's nothing they actually can do. Yes, they can prolong, they can filibuster. We saw how that was. The grandstanding. Yes, you're getting your accolades. You're getting now in the history books. Great. I love your personal journey. Great. Thanks, Corey. The Democrats still want the functioning government. They still want it to work. Republicans, who are apparently not for a functioning government, are putting these people. Perdue is a businessman, and he wants to, be there for the ambassador of China. Well, we definitely need to have conversations with China, because right now, Ryan, we are capital fucked with them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because they're not doing
they wanted
every
to.
4 years.
They could screw us.
Not if they want to. They are going to make this slow and personal.
Well, they already are.
Do you know what I mean?
They're slow. They're twisting the knife slowly. You're right.
They are literally sitting here, and they did not respond to. Can we just talk about this for 1 second? Remove Chuck Schumer.
All right.
This is what I want everybody to understand. When you're going up against China right now, Xi Jinping is not being voted out of office. He has prepped his entire economy for a war. So they are okay with whatever the slow burn is going to be. We are not ready for that. We have midterms for 2026, and we have the actual election in 2028. Presidents and congressmen and senators will be exchanged because the pressure is going to build. Nebraska is how long until they are literally in the red for their GDP as a state, because China removed the $1 billion deal it had with buying soy. Buying beef, they removed that deal. They are going to go under. This is the situation that we're going to see where
Yeah.
now all these other states are going to have to now take care of each other because we are in a situation where it's like, where is this going to go? Where
Yeah.
is this all going to go? Xi Jinping is going to sit back. This whole conversation, or I should say lack thereof, Trump was debating himself, was literally negotiating with himself. And we all know that this man in his depends is losing his goddamn mind because he literally is making crackhead deals. It's like being on the street in New York and someone be like, can I get $1, 50 cent, nickel? It's like they just literally negotiated themselves down to nothing. And you're like,
yeah.
I didn't say a damn word yet. I didn't even say, give me a second. Like, let me check my pocket, man. Like you just said nothing. Never mind. You good. You good. You didn't need it.
That's so funny.
That is what we look like right now. We are literally in the street with whatever dirty water and newspaper trying to wipe windows on a world stage. And we're just asking for $1 because we did this to ourselves. When I sit here and I look at you, Ryan, and I talk about this man literally did it to himself. Like I cannot stress how much I think this dude is Cheddar Bob. I'm sorry. I just really
I need to put that clip in there.
You know what I'm saying?
So we can play that, yeah.
We just need that clip because it's like, this is Cheddar Bob we're dealing with right now. Not the smartest one in the room. And everybody knows it, but we just keep him around, right? And so we're sitting here and I'm just thinking to myself, like, how do you negotiate yourself into a situation where you are literally worse off than how we all started on this?
Yeah.
So please continue. And you never answered me about Chuck Schumer. Was he right?
I think that, again, no, I think it's a fair question.
Deep sigh. The deep sigh was there.
It's a deep sigh because, I think I think we kind of did answer because we view what should be happening differently.
Yeah.
To me, like, I think it should be the whole West Wing moment when President Bartlett stands up and says, shut it down. Like we at some point, we, the American people, are going to have to say enough is enough. And how do we do that? That's the question. That's the question that I have yet to have anybody give me a good answer to, because so many people are saying impeach. Impeachment, it's not an answer.
No.
Just like Romeo's Not Dead said here. I think it's this one. No. Said something. The Democrats just put a bill on the floor today that would defund Trump's ability to enforce his tariffs. The vote was 49 yay, 49 yay. They did it knowing the White House was in Korea and unable to vote. It was mostly symbolic, but why put it on the floor for a vote if you know you're not going to get? So again, it's like playing stupid political games that isn't it. Oh, well, at least we put it on the floor. And yeah, that was great like maybe 3-4 years ago. But now we need action. And these little symbolic votes, these little kumbayas on the front stairs of the Lincoln Memorial or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
It's not getting it done. It's not going to get it done. If you hadn't noticed, the 2024 election, facts did not win the day.
Right.
We keep talking about this, and I keep explaining to you guys that the reason Trump won, the reason Republicans win is because they play off of people's emotions. They do the fear-mongering. They throw the red meat. They play the game. And unfortunately, there's a very large portion of Americans that what?
Stephanie just posted it. It's all you need to know. Just post it. Just put it up. Just put it up.
Strongly worded letters too.
That's what we're getting. That's what we're getting. You're like, I want to love Chuck. Like yes, Chuck, but no. Take Father Time's ass away from this shit, man. Like, stop. It's not meeting the mark.
Just going back to Democratic, their approach to how we're going to fix this.
Of all the crazy things the Republicans want to do now, they want a car tax? Hell no. Of all the crazy things the Republicans want to do now, they want a car tax? Hell no.
He fell on that step.
I thought if maybe we listened to it twice that maybe it would, do something. But
Hell
nope,
no.
Still didn't.
No.
So is that like who the fuck in your office sat there and said, "Hey Chuck, we've got a great idea for some content. Come do this video."
Well, the person holding the camera was probably just 10 years younger than him. Like, let's be serious right now. They don't have the idea of what the movement is right now. They don't.
But you know what? And I'm glad you guys brought up David Hogg, because you know what that's showing me. And again, as I told you, for those of you who might be new to the show, I left the Democratic Party 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it seems to me like David Hogg is starting to head down that same avenue.
Possible.
And what tends to happen is people get involved with the Democratic Party and they try to get in leadership positions and all this stuff. And then they see the inner workings of, the actual party. And it's like, oh, okay. And that goes back to, we've talked a lot about having Sarah Higginbotham back on because we talked a lot about having ranked choice voting because the reality is we have this two-party system. Yeah. Independents, outside of Bernie Sanders, don't usually stand a chance in elections. So you usually have to pick a party when you want to run for office. Mm-hmm. And that's a big part of the problem. And while I do not see us getting to a point where we're going to have a viable five-party system, that's why I personally think ranked choice voting is an actual viable solution to part of our election issue right now. So I would love to do that and see that. And Sarah Higginbotham has done a lot of work in Washington, D.C. on the Hill on that topic. So we're going to bring her back on the show and talk about that. And she's done other work. We did another show with her. She was doing a lot of work on reproductive rights during this past election. So, she's good people. Definitely looking forward to having her back on. But with that said, man, I know we don't agree on should we shut it down? Should Democrats play the game? Should they still, shake his hand and, vote for stuff like?
Why can't we do both? Because my biggest thing is,
go ahead.
On a bigger scale, I think that the legal system is what's really combating him, and this is what's making more sense about why he's now consolidating a lot of his power with all these law firms, where he's trying to get billions of dollars worth of lawyer retainer fees to now have them to combat whatever is going on, which is all these lawyers and all these law firms who are kissing the ring. So I get that we need to have smart people in the courtroom who are challenging this. You also see that Amy Coney Barrett and parts of Roberts are leaning more left on certain judgments because
they're throwing us some breadcrumbs.
There's throwing, and we talked about this. Like I don't think some of these victories are really actually what we need. I think it's more so of like keeping us at bay is a reality. Sir. And with that said, though, it's like one of the hardest ones that start coming down. The fact that we're gonna have a revisitation of the 14th Amendment. It's like, excuse me, what? Well, what are we about to do here? Why are we talking about birthright citizenship? Why are we talking about the reason why this was created? Why are we coming up with the 3/5? Like, wait. If I become or your children become 3/5 in this country again, you will watch this whole thing burn to the ground. That will be a promise.
It'll be you and me.
It'll not be just you and me. Have you guys all not noticed that the black vote, the black constituents, we're at brunch. We have not met up to do any of this, minus this show. We have not. Yeah,
as you should be,
and that's just men. We have not met.
Yeah, the women. It was actually higher.
It was literally damn near 100%.
Yeah, damn near 100%.
We didn't get Candace Owens. Whoop-de-doo. So
you would today.
Let that sink in. But in general, why can't it be both? Why can't it be that we start mobilizing more in the streets? Again, your guys' fight, not ours. We did our part. But why is it not the Latin community, the white community, the Asian community, even the Native American community? They in high percentages voted.
Yeah, man.
So why are they not all getting together as a coalition to meet in these streets and shut things down and make things a little more difficult? Because that's who needs to be speaking up. And that's going to be the question. Yeah. But I'm starting to see a lot of people in the suburbs of Royal Oak who have been mobilizing and protesting. And
the protests here have been
who I have never seen protest before.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
Same here.
Never.
Same here. So. I mean, again, for me, I'm frustrated because, for those of us like you and me and others who've, been in this fight every day, it's like, where was this leading up to November of 2024? But again, we've talked about this too. And we had, what is it? Election Truth Alliance. We had them on a few episodes ago, and we've all had that thought of something seems off.
Yeah.
Like this dude won all the swing states. Like
historically, like this
yeah,
victory,
like this
like
does,
a little over the top.
and then you go see, like we've talked about, if you went and saw a Kamala Harris, rally, and then you went and watched a Donald Trump rally, there was a very noticeable difference. So unless the Republican Party just happened to be able to mobilize their entire base to show up to these things and start walking out halfway through his speeches or just not showing up at all, and him not being able to hold him in many indoor arenas because he owes so many cities money. That's another thing. Like, you voted this guy in knowing he owes cities like hundreds of thousands of dollars
Turned away
for stiffing
away
them.
from venues, yeah, from cities.
Like,
funny,
yeah, let's
funny,
make him president.
funny what a magic bullet will do.
Yeah, for real.
You know, it's one of those things where, I just sit there and I just think to myself, even that feels like a photo op. Like, everything is questioned because none of it seems real. But you know what? Let's play devil's advocate. You and me right now. Let's play devil's advocate. And
Are we gonna
Buns is
fight?
saying, no.
I was gonna say, Bunny, you're gonna be the ref.
Buns, you got this. You already know. WWF. You know how to set up the match. Let's say, as Trump supporters, you and I. All right, let's be Trump supporters. He beats all odds, becomes president first time. Great, does his thing, whatever the case is. He tells us every day that we are that the system is rigged and that he lost. Okay, every day. Then he goes away. He doesn't go to the inauguration. I don't know if that's the first time that's ever happened, but we'll just say in our lifetime that's the first time I saw that. So doesn't go to the inauguration. Clearly has a disdain towards the system. Goes away. Is kicked off of whatever social media. Creates his own social media, and then starts now promoting his own whatever, meaning his off messaging, talking to whoever. Literally campaigning for president for 4 years of Biden, and literally having the little echo chamber that he has that's there. Everybody starts getting arrested that stormed the Capitol. We started watching all this slow grinding result of justice never actually come to fruition for us, but to see this slow process. And we start seeing him losing certain court cases, but at the same time, he doesn't have to pay it because he's appealing it. And so we're like, well, he didn't actually lose because it's still in the system, right? This is us right here. We're holding on to that thought process. And then here it is. He gets shot, allegedly. And I still, the ear doesn't, shot at. The ear, I don't see the damage, but whatever. He becomes president again, and he starts running house the way he is, and we see he's running his grievances. When you try to put on the mega outfit, wardrobe, jersey, when you think about that, does this man look like a demigod to you? Does this man not look like he's unbeatable, Teflon Don? This guy can do no wrong. He's as old as he is, but yet he's still at the nightclubs. Like, is there a thing that puts him on a pedestal that Chuck Schumer, for example, will never be? Like, Chuck Schumer walking down that hallway looked like his knee gave out. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a thing that's there. There's a thing that's there where you're like, I'm trying to see it from the cult's point of view, is my point.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to see deep ingrained in it. How is it that you can just remove all fact and only operate off of feeling, but then project, it's facts over feelings, but you're only mobilized by feeling.
Yeah.
If you have not noticed, with the tanking of the market under his watch, under his stewardship, all he talks about is the border. With the trade, the tariff war going south very fast, he focuses on the immigration and ICE and what they're doing. Mind you, if you deep dive with what's going on with ICE, they're not reaching the numbers that they wanted to promise to actually do. Their system of what they did was working actually too well that it's now working against them. And the reason why I say that is their whole little stunt of deportation. Now no one's crossing the border at all. And now they don't even have that to argue with, of like, they're trying to let in people through the border. No one's coming. No one wants to be here. You literally don't even have anything happening right now in this country where we're about to not even have supplies coming in here. No one wants to be here.
For real.
Canada just had their election, and you know, to the people, Trudeau ruined the Liberal Party. Guess what? Canada just went liberal again, because the people that are there that are going against what Trump is offering are talking what the people want of their nation.
Yep.
And they're not rocking with us. So now you just completely cut us off from the North. This is the part where I started looking at this.
Yeah.
You know, I really am thinking about this, Ryan. I'm trying to deep dive into, you know, what is it like to be MAGA, and then those who do wake up, those who do realize we hit the iceberg, we are sinking. You know what I mean? I think about the person who was on the Titanic. I don't know why we keep going back to it, but I do.
You love this analogy.
I really think about like that person who was a denier and then realized, oh no, we're not getting out of this. We're not getting out of this. Like we're all in this together, but we're not getting out of this. Like this was supposed to be the unsinkable ship.
Yeah. Right now we're fighting over the lifeboats. And you and I are sitting in the back.
My man, I actually think that right now we're the ones kicking the ice on the deck, thinking that this shit's fun. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I don't even think it's actually hit.
I instantly knew that, like, that scene hit as soon as you said
you
it.
Know
I was
what
like,
I'm saying?
Yep.
We're the ones playing soccer with the ice chunks on the deck. That's where we're at, right? I mean, if I'm going to be real with you,
tore our side.
If I'm going to be real with you, that's the stage, I think, because people are teetering. People are teetering with the aspect of, is it a constitutional crisis, or are we about to be? Well, what's the about to be? What's that hump that we just haven't gotten over? Because he's already not listened to the Supreme Court. Yeah. He already has. And then he's been mocking them on center stage, gleefully, all of them. And then these board meetings are, where they all bring their knee pads. What is going on? You know what I'm saying? I understand peer mediation. I understand like team building. I get all that. I do it to a T. Like my favorite thing is team building. I love walking into a situation of confrontation. How do we build? How do we get the team to work together? How do we really reconnect everybody? But that shit is something else, man.
Yeah. Everybody's leaving. Y'all are going to watch Rachel Maddow over us? Oh my God.
Get it in.
Here's something I want people to think about too. And unfortunately I can't say who it is, and it's actually more than one person. There are people that we know in our lives that I have known for years that have gotten these letters telling them to self-deport.
Yeah.
All of these people have been born in the United States. It is happening. I know it's happening because it's happened to people that I know. This isn't just a story I read off Twitter. This isn't just something I pulled off of Reddit. These are people that have called me and told me that this is what is happening. They have sent me photos of the letter. So this is insane.
Yeah.
We are literally deporting people that one party doesn't agree with. That is the most anti-American thing that you can possibly do.
Yeah.
And again, I have to remind all you folks, especially you white folks out there like me, we are all immigrants. If you're anything besides an indigenous person, we are all immigrants. We all come from an immigrant somewhere down the line. Somewhere. So if you take that into an account and go back and listen to Ronald Reagan, his last speech in the White House as he was leaving his presidency, and what he had to say about immigrants in America, and then come back and start invoking Ronald Reagan and trickle-down economics to me. You know, you guys want to pick and choose of what you lift up from the Republican platform, but you forget the important parts. You know, you talk about these leaders from decades ago, but you don't take the wisdom that they used as well. You only take the parts that justify your agenda. That's what we need to stop doing. We need to stop picking and choosing what we want to listen to, what we want to believe, or simply because it justifies our agenda or reinforces our belief. Because that doesn't benefit any of us. It's what got us here. You know, those of us that are, 40s, 30s, 40s, we grew up in a time where we didn't talk about politics. It wasn't the PC thing to do. We didn't talk about religion because you just didn't want to do it. And that's another thing that got us right where we are today. It got us with a bunch of uninformed 30 and 40 and 50-year-olds that never wanted to talk about politics unless it was somebody who they already knew thought the same way that they did. So we never challenged each other on things that mattered to all of us. We never got used to having that conversation of, hey, does this affect your community? We never got used to asking those questions. We never had the conversation of comparing Christianity and being Muslim. We just decided that those two things can't coexist. And that's another thing that got us where we are today. And because we have succumbed to all of those things, we have become easily dividable. And that's exactly what has happened. Yeah. Because I can honestly say that I would consider myself a moderate. I really would when it comes to government. But when it comes to politics, I am an extreme liberal because I see the difference between the two. And it goes back to it's one or the other right now. Yeah. Not saying that this side doesn't have its issues, because we do. Yeah. Democrats and liberals, we definitely have our issues too. But comparing it to a convicted felon, an adjudicated rapist, a business fraud, an accused pedophile, and a 5-time draft dodging coward, and all the people that support him, his agenda, and his presidency, I'll take the liberals and the Democrats every day.
And if we normalize this, y'all better be real careful that we don't, elect Chief Big Bull. He's gonna support all you white people. This motherfucker. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna be one of the first ones on the boat.
He's gonna say, "Look at this peace treaty. Rip that up."
And I'm gonna let everybody know. Am I not invited to the barbecue?
You are not coming to the barbecue. No, I mean, it's, everything you said, Ryan, and I'm not even trying to step on your shoes. What you said was pitch perfect, where we are right now. And I battle with this, trying to understand it. And there's a lot of mega friends that I didn't think they were mega, but how could they not be? What I mean? They chose a side.
Yeah.
It wasn't even, I didn't know. No, I knew they were conservative, but it's like, there's a difference.
Should be. Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a part where it's like, I can look at two parties and say, yeah, I mean, I rock with this person, but I can't rock with that person. Like, I don't know about that. But what about this? Well, he wasn't convicted. What? He was convicted. What are you talking about? And remember, how many people said, well, if he is convicted, we're not going to vote for him. The goalpost is always
moved
back. And at that point, it's like, okay, cool. I don't care what you say anymore. Only your actions are going to speak to me.
Yep.
I don't care anymore what anybody says to me about, I really don't like what he's doing, or I didn't vote for this. I don't care. What are you going to do about it now?
You did vote for it.
What are you going to do about it now? Yep. Because it already happened. He's in office. What are you going to do about it now?
And like I said, impeaching ain't going to work. So
not right now. Not right now. And if they did impeach him, say in a perfect world, there's a blue wave, blue tsunami that takes over the Senate and the House. They do impeach him. Okay, now we have JD. What are you going to do? You going to impeach him too?
Dream.
You know what I mean? Are you going to impeach both of them now? What's going to happen here?
Then the speaker. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then Mike Johnson, you're going to impeach him. Now what are you going to do? I mean, the reality is what we should be doing. And I'm being real serious when I say this. Take names of every single person who has become very complacent with their position of power. Name them. Pete Hegseth, Pam Bondi. What's your favorite? Tulsi Gabbard. The brainworm voice. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Oh, Mr. Autism is catchable.
take names. And what I'm going to say to you
Fuck
is
that guy.
what I'm going to say to you is that the left, the Democratic Party, liberals, whoever, they need to start going after individuals under committees and also if necessary under special counsel like Robert not Robert Mueller but John Smith, where they need to then be investigated of the complacency of why they just went along with, because you can't just say following orders.
Well,
Nazis in America actually had more due process than we are seeing with current day individuals who have no criminal background.
Yeah.
I just really want that to sink in. After World War II, people who were convicted of being Nazis, some were real, some were not. Some just had a thick accent. But guess what? They had due process to find out if the pieces were there to convict.
And speaking of, a federal judge has restricted Border Patrol in interior of California, saying that they can't just walk up to people with brown skin and say, give me your papers.
Yeah.
So this is, if you wonder why they keep talking about impeaching judges, this is why. Because they want to normalize impeaching any judge that goes, that hurts their agenda and gives any ruling that impedes them.
Any voice. From judge down to student.
So that's what they're normalizing here. Mm-hmm. And MAGA and Trump supporters are allowing it to be normalized.
Yeah.
You know, they're starting to normalize, you know, arresting judges, impeaching judges, you know, floating these ideas. And again, if you don't know how Donald Trump operates, he follows, you know, the needle of the public perception. So if the public says, you know, do it, he's going to do it. If they start hemming and hawing, he's going to pull back, just like he pulls back on the tariffs, just like he pulls back on anything.
Yeah. He's a reality star. I mean, let's really talk about it, though.
That's what he is.
He's just a failed reality star TV show. You know?
Yeah.
He wasn't even.
Well, that's the problem. He wasn't a failed.
Businessman.
He didn't fail at being a reality TV star. That's the problem.
That was the only lifeboat that he had. Because all his,
if he wouldn't have had that, he wouldn't be
depleted.
here right now.
No. Well, and by that I mean
he was insignificant. But yeah, he was struggling before The Apprentice came along.
Yeah.
You know, but again, it's just like Alex Jones. Alex Jones would be nobody. But you know what happened? Elon Musk and his group of buddies came along and handed him an exclusive contract on X to keep him afloat.
Yeah.
So, you know, these people don't fail because the people don't want them to. You know, again, Elon Musk, people don't continue supporting this guy because they think what he's doing is right or good or anything. They keep supporting him because their 401k is so invested in his companies that they can't afford to shit on him. They can't afford for his popularity or his reputation to take any more of a hit. So they're not going to pile on. But like, and then Donald Trump, again, not trying to start a cult, I believe it was just a few hours ago, sitting in, having a meeting in the White House and saying that Elon Musk is welcome to stay at the White House as long as he wants because he's been treated unfairly. Like, are you people fucking serious? What if Joe Biden said, you know what, I'm going to bring Hunter Biden in. He can stay in the White House as long as he wants because he's been treated so unfairly by the media and by Marjorie Taylor Greene showing pictures of his dick on the, you know, House floor.
Who did it? Who digs it?
Like, people, this is insane.
Marjorie she's just trash, man.
And again, I don't like being right about this shit, people.
Oh,
I really don't. But there's 2 years of video of me saying that this was coming. And there's 2 years of comments of people telling me that I was overreacting. I didn't know what I was talking about. That couldn't happen in America. They'll always listen to the Supreme Court. There's no way that everything you people kept saying can't happen has happened, is happening right now.
Right.
So let's stop with the games. Let's stop with the what ifs. Let's stop with the arguments. It's happening. So now the question is, are you going to let it happen or are you going to get behind people like me? Because if you're not going to help me, then get the fuck out of my way. Stop complaining. Stop complaining about how I fight. Stop complaining about how I deliver my message. Stop complaining about me cussing because you literally, they voted for a fucking rapist and you're worried about me saying fuck? Like, they voted for a dude that fucks children and you're worried about me saying fuck? You voted for a guy that wants to fuck his own daughter. I've got the video. And you're worried about me saying fuck? Fuck.
That was a very intense, quick quip.
Dude, I'm gonna like this. I'm gonna like this new mic arm. I can tell you that right now.
God, it's there. It is there.
So,
and to let somebody know, they wrote that there was an Ian rant. There's no Ian rants. There's only Ryan rants in this.
No, Ian's the fire extinguisher.
Yeah. I have my own little, silhouette, but no, that's not. It's only a Ryan rant.
We all have our jobs here on this show.
Yes. Yeah. I step in from time to time, but there's no Ian rants. Just so we're
yeah. If you get Ian spun up, I think there's only been one or two.
Tario.
There haven't been many.
Fucking Tario. But yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't. I wouldn't even say you got spun up there. Maybe for you. Maybe for you.
Yeah, just pinpointed. Just
yeah.
going. I went into AG mode. So
yeah.
But no.
Because we're at an hour and a half, so I want to try to wrap up a few things.
Yeah.
So we also had another judge that released the Columbia student and activist today. And I apologize, as always, if I butcher his name. But Mr. Madawi, a 34-year-old Palestinian student at Columbia University and a U.S. permanent resident, was arrested on April 14th of 2025 during what he believed was a naturalization interview in Colchester, Vermont. Instead, he was detained by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents under a rarely used national security provision. The arrest was linked to his role in organizing pro-Palestinian protests on campuses and his outspoken criticism of Israel's military actions in Gaza. The Trump administration justified the detention by alleging that Madawi's activism posed a threat to U.S. foreign policy interests. However, no criminal charges were filed against him. His legal team argued that the arrest was a retaliatory act aimed at suppressing his constitutionally protected free speech. On April 30th, U.S. District Judge Jeffrey Crawford ordered Madawi's release, stating that his detention caused great harm to a person who has been charged with no crime. The judge emphasized that Madawi was neither a flight risk nor a danger to the community and likened the government's actions to McCarthy-era overreach. Madawi's case has drawn significant attention to the broader issue of immigration enforcement, targeting political activists, particularly those involved in pro-Palestinian movements. While Madawi has been released, other students and activists remain in custody, highlighting ongoing concerns about civil liberties and free speech rights in the context of immigration policies.
Yep.
So, yeah.
From judges to, students. And you wonder why federal judges are, telling immigrants to walk through. They're,
taking them out the back. Yeah.
Or just, here's a chance for you. This is what they're trying to do. It's this is a sting, whatever the case is. They haven't been tried, right? So whatever the case is. But here's the thing. I don't think you're finding criminals at court who are literally checking in to do the process.
Yeah, they're not showing up to court to evade the process.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's be serious about this. So when we get into
isn't that what we want them to do, Ian? We want them to go through the process
the right way. We want them to do the right thing, do it the right way.
And I mean,
jumping the line.
I would say that it would be a safe assumption that if said person is showing up to a courthouse or to what they think is a naturalization process,
right,
that they are trying to do it the correct way.
Right.
So, and I'm glad you said that, because it's actually kind of crazy if you think about it, that they're trying to entrap these people by inviting them into the process.
Right.
Like, you're literally entrapping them by saying, oh yeah, come in for your process. We're going to make you a citizen.
I have one more for you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
IRS giving up addresses of those who are paying their taxes.
Yep. Which is true.
How is this defeating the purpose of saying that they're coming in here and they're taking away from everybody, but they're not paying any taxes, when the IRS is now handing over their tax information?
Yep.
They live at said address. And the thing that gets me is, do you think anybody's going to want to be paying their taxes moving forward? No,
now they're worried about, if I pay my taxes, I'm in the system and they're going to come for me.
Yep.
That is the complete opposite of what we want, people.
Yep. Yep.
It really is.
Yeah.
And again, I'm pointing out, I understand that some people aren't fortunate enough to have the education level that I have.
Right.
And I hope that some of you will simply take what we say and go read about it yourself. But economically speaking, this is a fucking disaster.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there really is no other way to put what is happening right now.
And that's the thing. It's a bunch of morons, idiots who are running this. And
well, they're loyalists.
yes, but I'm talking about from the head, the top.
Oh, for sure.
An idiot. There's no plan. There's nothing. It's very
idiot.
evident.
Pete Hegseth's an idiot. JD Vance is useless. Tulsi Gabbard's a foreign asset. His wife's a foreign asset too. I swear to God, she's his handler. I don't know that for a fact. That's just a guess. Don't
my gut's telling me.
Yeah, don't community note me or fact check me.
But Pete Hegseth just got community noted.
Hegseth did just get. I think I did put that up. So, our wonderful Secretary of Defense said this morning he proudly ended the Women, Peace, and Security program inside the Department of Defense. WPS is yet another woke, divisive, social justice Biden initiative that overburdens our commanders and troops, distracting from our core task, warfighting. WPS is a United Nations program pushed by feminists and left-wing activists. Politicians fawn over it. Troops hate it. DOD will hereby executive... What does it say? DOD will hereby executive the minimum of WPS required by statute and fight to end the program for our next budget. Good riddance, WPS. Now, here's the community note that I never get on my post saying that Donald Trump is a felon, fraud, rapist, accused pedophile, and a 5-time draft dodging coward. I never get this note on that, ever. But the community note and fact check on this is the Women, Peace, and Security Act was passed in 2017 during the first Trump administration, and it had significant Trump support. Now, let me tell you exactly what happened here. Hang on, let me get a drink. What is happening here, folks, is you have a incompetent drunk that isn't actually doing his job. He's too busy going around playing Department of Defense or whatever it is he does. And all of these things that are happening are being done by, ready? Artificial intelligence. Or, as the Trump administration likes to call it, A1 sauce. And because of that...
A1 sauce.
As they get rid of the education department. But him and Elon Musk, they're using AI to govern right now.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, go look it up. I'm not kidding. Like, they've been busted. We've talked about it on the show before. The Enola Gay. It got removed from all mentions in the military. And if you go look, it was an airplane during World War II. And they took it out because the computer, the AI program, flagged it because it had the word what in it.
You ain't gonna have no artists singing "What's Going On" if that's the case.
Yeah, come on, man. Only people from Detroit and black people get that.
Come on, Marvin Gaye. Come on.
Like I
Everybody
said, only
knows
people
Marvin
from
Gaye.
Detroit and black people get that.
Ain't no mountain high enough.
Yeah, but that
Heard
could
it through the
be
grapevine?
Diana Ross.
No.
She
I'm
had a
saying
version.
no. Yes.
I mean, I know
no.
you're saying no.
Fine.
I'm just saying.
Marvin motherfucking Gaye.
We need to do some music. We really need to do some music episodes.
Music show would be great.
Um,
It'd keep us feeling young.
But look, I'm glad this guy's out. I'm glad that there are some judges that are still willing to make these decisions because it's the right thing to do. It's the right interpretation of the law, I should say. I shouldn't say it's the right thing to do. And that's what we need. We need judges that are going to interpret the law in a way that protects the American people. And, we love to do the Ryan rants and stuff for the show, but, at the end of the day, this is serious. We don't want to overshadow how serious the message needs to be right now with, theater on this show.
Yeah.
These are very serious times. There are very serious things happening with very serious consequences. And the consequences are already here. Our GDP came in extremely lower than expected. For those wondering, Well, for the last few quarters, let's talk about the fourth quarter of 2024, which would have been Biden's last quarter as president. The GDP was growing at a rate of about 2.4%. And it had been seeing a growth rate of around 2% for, I think it was 3 or 4 quarters before that. So it was consistently growing. And Trump's first 100 days, quarter one, came in at negative 0.3. Our GDP completely wiped out all of its growth that it had in the prior quarter already. Like it's already stalling.
Wiped it out.
So not only wiped it out, but already going in the negative.
Yeah.
So now wait until the tariffs truly take effect. Like that, and that's the problem right now is we're seeing, matter of fact, let me read this to you. The U.S. economy contracted in the first 3 months of 2025 on an import surge at the start of President Donald Trump's second term in office as he wages a potentially costly trade war. Gross domestic product, a sum of all goods and services produced from January through March, fell at a 0.3% annualized pace, according to a Commerce Department report Wednesday, adjusted for seasonal factors and inflation. This was the first quarter of negative growth since quarter one of 2022. Economists surveyed by Dow Jones had been looking for a gain of 0.4% after GDP rose by 2.4% in the fourth quarter of 2024. However, over the past day or so, some Wall Street economists changed their outlook to negative growth, largely because of unexpected rise in imports as company and consumers sought to get ahead of the tariffs implemented in early April. So for those wondering what that means is businesses and anybody in America that is dependent on imports from other countries that are now going to see these tariffs, they're trying to stock up on as much product as they can under the current pay structure before the tariffs kick in.
That's right.
So what we're going to see is all these people that have stocked up, they're not going to be buying anything for a while now.
Right.
Until until their supplies run down. Then they're going to have to buy the increased price. And then what happens, class? Then that gets translated down to who? The consumer. Because the company's not going to take on that added cost for nothing. So it's going to be passed down to consumers on a per unit basis. So if you're buying a pair of sneakers, you're now going to pay an extra 20%. If you're buying a car, between the chip taxes and the other tariffs, you're paying up to potentially 30% more. If they're everything.
And on top of that, you're not even touching on the mom and pop shop. They can't even afford to do that. They don't have the space. They don't have the funding, the backing, nothing. So you're talking more about the actual larger conglomerates.
Yep.
That are actually doing this to stockpile.
And we couldn't talk about it without, of course, talking about the man that I find responsible for this, which is Donald Trump. Doing what he does best, the tale of two tweets. Let me read you one from this morning. This is Biden's stock market, not Trump's. I didn't take over until January 20th. Tariffs will soon start kicking in and companies are starting to move into the USA in record numbers. Our country will boom, but we have to get rid of the Biden overhang. This will take a while. Has nothing to do with tariffs, in bold letters. Only that he left us with bad numbers. But when the boom begins, it will be like no other. Be patient. So let's just go back a little over a year to January 29th of 2024. This is the Trump stock market because my polls against Biden are so good that investors are projecting that I will win and that will drive the market up. Everything else is terrible. Watch the Middle East. And record-setting inflation has already taken its toll. Make America great again. So when he's not president, the stock market's going up because of him. When he is president, the stock market's not going down because of him. What?
He's just the worst.
Like, again, if you voted for this guy, you are among the dumbest, period, people, period,
ever.
Period.
It hurts. It hurts. I laugh.
But it only hurts us.
Laugh
That's the
not
problem.
because
It only hurts the people
I laugh
that get
because
it.
it's my pain, man. It hurts so much to
It's like a migraine.
just God.
Like I said, and I just want to remind you, go find the video from today where he said that, you know, the kids are just going to have to deal with not having as many toys, and the parents are just going to have to deal with paying a little more for them.
It's just
bullshit. I'm paraphrasing, of course. He said it much more unintelligently than
Twitter
that.
fingers, and you're just sitting here and you're like, you know, you sit here and you rave and champion about a market all throughout your first administration that you wrote the coattails. And let's be serious. He literally was given the gift of a great market with Obama. And he was like, this is I did this, blah, blah. It's like, no, but if you look at the trajectory, it's like, no, this was all from what my man set you up with.
Yeah.
All you had to do was just now this time around, show up and go golfing and not do a damn thing.
And you could have just rode the coattails.
You could have just rode this and been like, this is Trump's market. Look at how good this is. See, everything, this peace and prosperity. And
I would have been okay with that. I would have been okay with that. I'd be like, you know what? As long as the stock market and the economy aren't crashing, I'll let them have it.
But no,
kind of like the blowjob. If we could get back to Bill Clinton's economy, I'm just saying, maybe bring blowjobs back in the Oval Office.
It's like, that's what you're trying to say. I'll wear the blue dress. There it is.
Hey, you know, Bill didn't rape her.
Oh, man. Oh, God.
Just saying.
God. You can't have those kind of jokes, man. It's like, but
yeah, I know.
I will say
we're going to be on Netflix real soon.
We're going to be on Netflix. But your girl, what's her name? I'm getting the same kind of energy. Your girl, the White House press secretary,
Carolyn Levitt.
The way she looks at Trump, it's giving.
Oh, did you? I saw the video where
it's giving that kind of energy, man. It's giving that kind of energy.
If y'all haven't somebody seen it, did the comparison video.
If you haven't seen it, it's giving that kind she talks about the guy. We all know that she likes older, ugly ass men. So
60 plus year olds.
So
a little older, a little richer. It's a step up.
It's her type. It's definitely her type. I'll let y'all know right now. She has a type.
She definitely has a type. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, there it is.
Like I said, again, for all my haters that came on that video that went fucking viral on Instagram of me making jokes about you, saying what tariffs were going to do, and you all said that I didn't know what I was talking about. I thought I was going to have to wait a little more than 100 days. I'm not going to lie to you. I planned on about 6 months in to be able to say I told you so, but I'll just go in my calendar and I'll switch it and I'll move it up because today I get to tell you, all you motherfuckers, I told you so. I fucking told you this guy didn't know what the fuck he was doing. I told you he was going to fuck the economy up. I told you he was going to fuck over all our allies because he did it the first time. He did it with the Kurds. And then you're going to act surprised when he comes in and does the same shit again? He got away with it one time, so now he's doing it 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Like, please, for the love of God, stop listening to all these elected dumb fucks that are worried about their pocketbooks and their jobs and start listening to people like me, because that's how we're going to get out of this shit. And remember, guys, war isn't fun, and we all have to make some sacrifices. Right now, we're all going to be paying so much in fucking tariffs, and you guys are worried about if we should shut the fucking government down? They're going to be shutting down all of our bank accounts. They're shutting down all of our 401ks. Shut this motherfucker down. Shut Trump down. Shut MAGA down. Shut them all down. The minute first off, January 6th should have been the end of it. But the minute he started saying that the Supreme Court can go fuck themselves, that should have been the moment that all of our antennas went up and went, that's bad.
Yeah.
Because the Supreme Court is supposed to be the end-all, be-all protection. Which, by the way, let me just remind everybody, the Supreme Court has ruled that the law enforcement has zero responsibility to protect us, the citizens. Not once, but several times. Yeah. They have ruled that. So please stop thinking that the police are going to protect you. If you see them coming for you, run. Fucking don't let them take you, especially if you're brown. They're just walking up and taking people. Hell, they don't even have fucking uniforms on. They got little fake-looking badges and hoodies. And they're like, here, come with me. How about go fuck yourself?
I am waiting to see how that plays out, where you have a group of, cosplaying individuals, militias, who started pulling that stuff.
You come up and try and take my wife or my kids in a hoodie with some fucking badge on and see how that goes for you.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I would
true.
not hate on somebody if they shot that person.
It's only a matter of time.
I really wouldn't.
It's only a matter of time.
I truly
really
believe it is. And they
It's-
will be within their right. If you come and try and take my family off the street without any kind of due process, warrant, anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you bet your sweet
Well, no,
ass
they
there's
went
gonna
in.
be a
They went
problem.
into the American home. The warrant only stated the address. It didn't state a name. That just happened
Exactly.
this past week. Petrified everybody. Can you imagine your daughter being outside in rain and underwear? Like they wouldn't even let you put on clothes, and you're like, I'm an American citizen, and they told these Americans to shut up.
I'm too
that they
visual
cannot-
for this conversation.
Yeah. Buns is always she's there. She's always there.
Every time I say fuck, she's like, oh, ooh.
It's the way you said it. It had me
I
laughing.
know.
It had me laughing. It had me laughing.
But
Yeah.
you know,
We're flirting with that line. We're flirting with that line.
You know, we really are.
Yeah.
And again, you know, I love my rants because it's like my therapy. And it really is one of these times though. Like when I say pick a side, it's not just some, you know, little talking point or something I'm saying for clicks.
Yeah.
It's pick a side time. We see what the sides are now. We see both sides of the chessboard. Okay? So now it's up to us to make all the right moves. And I really do feel that way. We're playing chess. We're playing chess against MAGA and Trump and all the money that they have behind them.
Right.
And I think that's what you were saying in the beginning of the show. You know, when you say slow down. You know, when we say slow down. Sometimes you gotta slow down and look at the chessboard, you know, before you make that next move. And I do think that that's where we need to be. But first, we should probably figure out as a, you know, Democratic Party how to stop the infighting and all get on the same page so that we can go and just slap the shit out of these people as one big old fucking Thanos-sized hand and just end it. If the Democratic Party and liberals that I've seen that are pissed off, that are out there protesting and out here complaining and writing letters and making phone calls, if all of us got on the same fucking page and people stopped worrying about who the leader was,
Right.
we would be unstoppable, my friends. Like, we would, because there is more of us than them. You know, don't worry about what the vote count was, 78 million to 76 million, whatever it was. Don't worry about that. There was another 40 million sitting at home.
Right.
And those people are pissed off too.
There's definitely a conversation that needs to be had within the camp, the left, the liberal side, progressives, all around. It is a coalition of different of let's be serious, it's diversity.
Yeah.
And we need to understand what world we want to live in, because right now we're seeing what the other side looks like.
Yeah,
and they don't want us. They don't want us at all.
Nope.
And this is the part where we need to mobilize and we need to focus on having a clear vision of what kind of world we want to raise our kids in. And at the same time, too, how can we all thrive? Because here's what I always think about, Ryan, with you and I. We are still advocating for the right to have the same exact rights as us. We want everything to be progressive. We don't want free healthcare or universal healthcare for just us and not them. But they want to remove rights for said insert demographic.
Yep.
That's the part where I'm trying to really wrap my head around when you're thinking about who is on the other side of the aisle. Because I'm not saying, well, Ryan gets universal healthcare and Buns gets universal healthcare, but not you, Teddy. Not you. You don't get no universal healthcare.
You know, and again, I just have to say how blessed, you know, my family is because, you know, Jen gets us healthcare because she retired. So, you know, we kind of have the closest thing I think you could probably get to, you know, that kind of healthcare. And it's not horrible. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's issues with the VA itself, but, you know, when you're comparing it to people that don't have insurance, it's not that bad.
Now, how do we find the happy medium? How do we find a system that actually takes it to the next level?
There you go. Yep.
You know?
So I just want to touch on a few more things here. Another thing that doesn't seem to be going as planned would be Doge. Doge and Elon Musk
What did big balls do now?
Big balls?
That's a little 19-year-old boy.
Little boss.
You
Little
know,
itty bitty boss.
a lot of projection. A lot of,
Oh, ton.
I'm a man. Sit
Yep.
down. Sit down.
Him and his
Timmy.
little badge. His badge said 69420 was the badge number.
Stop.
Dude,
Stop.
like, you are not cool. Like, most of your kids have been through IVF. I don't think you've 69'd with anything besides maybe a poster. Like,
You know, Doge, if you were cool, you would wipe out everybody's debt and just hit erase and see. You want to do some cool shit?
right?
Let's see some.
Right? So
Let's see something really dope. Come on.
Doge went from saying that they were going to be able to save the American people $2 billion at least. Trillion. Sorry, thank you. $2 trillion. And it's come out now that they've only been able to save about 150 billion. Now,
I'm sorry, say that number again. How low?
150 billion.
Wow.
That's a long way off of 2 trillion.
That's a long way off.
You know, just a little. Now, the kicker is, again, Ian and I are trying to start a cult. You can go ask AI about these things. The programs that Doge cut, again, using AI, again, A1 sauce for those who follow Linda McMahon. I'm not letting that one go anytime soon.
You can't. Show makes me hungry, though.
It does. I'm hungry. That's why we're ending the show in a minute, y'all, because I'm hungry. But the cuts, a lot of the programs that they're cutting are programs that we actually need. It's just they don't agree with them. So, for example, those of you who know I'm bipolar, we talk a lot about mental health on this podcast, and we've talked a lot about 988, which is the hotline that you can call if you are feeling suicidal or just, anything else and you need some mental health resources. So it's like a 911 number for those of us who struggle at our government and those, whatever it had to go through to get done, that it was done. But one of the things it did was when you dial the number, it takes you in and it can divide you off into sections. So they literally have departments. So they had a department for veterans. They had a department for LGBTQ and trans people. They had a department for just, average Americans. Yeah. So like they had certain groups that they split off of. Well, one of the things that Donald Trump and the, pro-life people that were praying in the White House the other day, they got rid of the funding for the LGBTQ department of the 988 suicide hotline. I cannot tell you how fucking furious that makes me. Especially all you preachy, self-righteous pieces of garbage out there that have crosses in your fucking profiles and you talk about how much you love God and Jesus Christ is your savior and all that shit. But when it comes down to people that are struggling, you don't want to help them if you don't agree with their lifestyle or their choices or whatever. But supposedly you believe in God and that as long as you confess your sins and accept Jesus Christ into your heart, that he'll forgive you. Oh, unless you're LGBTQ, then go fuck yourself if you're going to try to kill yourself. Because that's where we're at, people. Like, they're literally making it so that these people can't find resources. Do you know how hard the LGBTQ and trans community have had to fight for these fucking resources?
Right.
Like, there's that 988 hotline, every single page, every single letter in that document that led to that is written in blood. It's written in blood of not just the ones that take their own lives, but the ones that had their lives taken. And to see them going backwards like this, to have our government look in these people's faces, these Americans' faces, and tell them, we're not going to provide you the resources that we once did because we think that you are lesser than. And that's the message. Don't think it's anything else. The message is your life, because you are a lesbian, because you're gay, because you're trans, whatever it is, they think their life is less than.
Yeah.
So again, when I tell you that if you voted for Donald Trump, if you support this agenda, if you're out there saying this is what I voted for, then I say to you wholeheartedly, fuck you, and I hope karma finds you, and I hope cholesterol does its job. Because the world will be better off when all of you are fucking gone. Your hate, your evilness, what you are willing to do to make other people suffer is so insane that the only solution is for you to, like, what's the Thanos thing? Just, there it is.
Just a snap. Just a snap.
If we could just snap this bitch back to crazy Joe Biden struggling to get out of bed,
Sleepy
you
Joe.
know, fumbling a couple of words at the podium.
I'll take it.
But the economy not fucking, you know, going into the shitter, and our allies not all thinking that we're pieces of garbage.
Yeah.
I miss those days. I don't know about you.
Oh no, it's right there. It's,
Canada, like he's talking about making Canada the 51st state still. Like, how many times does Canada need to look at you and say, "Shut the fuck up"?
well,
Because that's what they keep doing.
I'm gonna say get in line because Puerto Rico's supposed to be first. All right, so it's like,
And they may have rights there. They may have squatters'
let's
rights.
Not talk, they might have squatter rights. Let's not kick that hornet's
Yeah,
nest.
they may be first in line for that slap. That's for sure.
Or we're gonna start talking about treaties and all that stuff, territories.
But again, it's. I posted the other day. I said, I love America, and I love Americans, and that's why I can't support Trump.
Yeah.
Like all the political bullshit, all the hyperbole, throw it all out the window. I can tell you word for word why I don't support that man. And it goes for moral reasons, and it goes for his ineptitude running our country.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's incompetent. He's incompetent. He's a literal con man that just follows whichever way the wind blows. That's his governing way. He doesn't have anything to stand on.
It's him first. How does he enrich him and his family?
Exactly.
And then you know the suckers and losers will be next.
Yep.
You know,
and the tax breaks that they're trying to push through only further solidify that fact.
Yeah.
Right. So again, Doge has found nothing. If we want to talk about fraud, waste, and abuse, let's talk about F-18s rolling off of aircraft carriers and going into the sea, shall we?
That's wild.
Now, for those of you who may be new to the show, then you know that before I became a podcast host with my good friend Ian here, I was an aircraft mechanic and engineer. I got to work on not just aircrafts, but I actually got to work on the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier, so I've gotten to see both sides of that. I also ran the F-18 depot program in Virginia for a few years. So I actually know what the fuck I'm talking about here. And that's why I find this so funny. Because potentially one of those F-18s, that could have been an F-18 that I worked on. that's the truth. But no, so for those of you who want a little background, F-18 costs the government around, $30,000 for, I think it's A through C models. And then E models and up tend to be 55 to 70 million. Wow. So if you were wondering which model happened to go into the ocean, it was not the cheaper model. It was the E model, which puts us somewhere around $60 million in cost to the taxpayers. Damn. So now my question to all of our good listeners and anybody out there that might come across this clip is, if Joe Biden was president and his Secretary of Defense allowed a jet to just
roll off?
How
does a jet roll off an aircraft carrier?
Let me tell you, there's some enlisted folks that are having a really bad fucking week. I can tell you that right now.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, somebody really fucked up for that to happen, I think. But again, I don't know. I wasn't there and I haven't seen a video, so I don't know all the details.
I don't think we ever will see a video. There ain't.
But my whole point of this is, you know me, I can be rational about it, but I'm trying to make a point here. And the point is that if this had been a Democrat that was in office when this happened, you know damn well that they would have been saying, look, Joe Biden, they just threw a fucking $60 million aircraft into the ocean. But when it's Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth, like Pete Hegseth, he didn't even drop his tequila. Like they didn't even slow this dude down.
His coffee and Irish cream.
Like nobody questioned him.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Stephanie
about fraud,
says-
waste, and abuse, bitch.
Stephanie says that it was being taxied. So someone literally just drove this off the deck. That's what just happened. Like that's just.
Did they have to punch out?
Yo.
Okay, so I gotta go. It was
We gotta
being
find out
taxied
more about
on the
this story.
deck. Because it was being taxied on the deck. See, that's what I don't know because I've never been on the carrier out on ocean. I just worked on it in dry dock. I don't know if they so on the on the ground you can hook the tow up and you can tow it out.
Yeah.
But if they were taxiing out, that leads me to believe that somebody was in the cockpit. Actually, I say driving, but taxiing out.
Yep.
So that's good. Man, now I got to go find out.
Now we have to really get to.
He didn't even look up away from his. Oh, the things that attach to the jet, the little car. Yeah, the car type towing. So how the hell did that? Okay, I gotta go. Now I gotta go see. So it's on. It's hooked up to a tow. So the front the front wheels and there's a little tow bar that you hook up into the that connects to that wheel, and then you can tow the damn. You can just tow it wherever you want to go. You don't even need anybody in the cockpit. So if that happened, now I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Bloop. All I can say is we look
Did
like.
the tow go over with it? That's going to be funny. So if somebody was driving that bitch and they just towed it over the edge, oh my God, I would not want to. Oh my God. I cannot tell you how much shit that person's going to be in.
Oh, this is the thing that I find really interesting about our
like you might as well just pack your bag.
Our military.
And go home,
you're gone.
dude.
You're done. You're done. You're not even an honorable discharge. You're being discharged right now.
No, I don't think they give him a dishonorable for that because that's not like drunk driving or something like that.
Hey man, Pete Hegseth was driving.
No, I'm telling you, I don't think they'd give him a dishonorable discharge for that, but they could give him a general for inability to carry out duties or adapt to military life. They could do that one, but that's not a dishonorable.
Got it. It's
these days to get a dishonorable, you gotta you gotta murder somebody damn near.
Damn. No, this is it's wild to me to just see how incompetent, people are becoming. And this is why you need DEI. This is why you need diversity, equity, and inclusion, because you're bringing the best out. Yeah. Clearly, we're being stuck with a mediocre, Navy and Air Force. That's all I'm getting from this.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I hesitate to I don't know how many other times this has happened. I'm sure it happened back in the day, when they didn't have all the tie downs and, all the shit we have today. But modern day aircraft carriers to have a plane just bloop, bloop. Yeah, that's I don't know,
did we
man.
Just throw $70 million in the ocean? Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
And I'm glad I wasn't driving the tow.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, dude, that's going to be a bad day. For those who've ever been called to the carpet in front of a commander, that person's having a very bad week.
Oh my God.
And it could be an Article 15. That could be an article. What would they? But honestly, for those who don't know, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, when you talk about enforcing rules and laws in the military, I always found this one funny. It's actually a law. In the Uniform Code of Military Justice, there's an article that says that you are not allowed to perform fellatio.
Period?
Period.
Wow.
It actually has something in there that they can use to punish you for your sex life. And when I read that article, I happened to be standing next to my shirt and my master sergeant at the time. And I just happened to look. I said, well, if that's the case, sir, I think all of us in here are pretty fucked. And he started cracking up. I'm like, because I think most of us have, our wives or girlfriends or whatever, And man, I had that chief cracking up. I'm like, yeah, we're all fucked then. I was like, are you going to be writing my UCMJ up? And he started laughing.
Wow. Yeah.
So my point is, there's some things in the UCMJ that you'd read and go, really? If they want to come after you, there's things that they can use.
Little things.
Now, granted, go find out how many times that's actually been utilized in a military court. That's the question.
Right.
But the other thing is, if you didn't hear, Donald Trump did an interview, and it really did not go well. And I really just want to show these videos tonight because it does speak to just how unhinged and just incorrect this dude's information is. And that's my biggest issue, is you're just putting out information that isn't factually correct.
I like this clip. Roll it.
Oh, man.
He wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute over that.
Wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
Yeah, that was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshopped, Terry. You can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry. But you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry.
I saw the picture.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir.
Terry,
I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't
Take a look
there,
at the
but
photograph.
they're there now, right?
No,
but they're
in
now.
your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
We'll take a look at that.
You do such a disservis.
We'll take a look at that,
Why don't you
sir.
just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something
Because it's not
else.
true, bitch. Why don't you just agree with me? Because you're wrong.
The clip I wanted to actually hear was him say, "Why don't you pick up the phone and call?" And he says, "I could if I wanted to, but I'm not going to."
Oh,
I don't know if you have that in that.
No.
But in that horrible interview, to listen to this old man, the most incriminating evidence of him disobeying the Supreme Court is in that clip, because he had the news conference with El Salvador's pimp drug dealer, whoever that was, and he said, I can't do it. I mean, he maybe could do it, but I can't do it. And he goes, I can't do it, but maybe he. They played that game. But in this particular clip, right before it cut off, he says, "Why don't you pick up that phone and call El Salvador, because you can request for him to come." He goes, "I could do that if I wanted to, but I don't want to do that." He tells on himself all the time. Yep. And that right there is the evidence that is necessary to talk about how he is doing exactly this towards the Supreme Court and our Constitution.
And
but it's all cringe. It's all cringe.
Speaking of cringe, this is Donald Trump handing out hats. The Made in China, Make America Great hats. He's signing them and handing them out to disabled veterans and I think first responders. Let's have a look.
And we all serve together.
Wow.
And Jared over there.
And Jared over there.
So you guys got hit, huh? Pretty good. You got hit.
Pretty good.
Amazing.
We're in a pretty tough area in Kandahar, in the Arkansas River Valley.
Right, it's
outside
tough.
Kandahar.
Their unit had a more than 50% Purple Heart rate, sir.
Wow.
In 2010.
You deserve it. You deserve that and more. We appreciate it so much. Brave, really brave, brilliant people. Thank you very
fucking
much.
tacky.
Do you have any questions?
And we all serve
So
together.
Just a
you
bunch
see
of
guys,
suckers
you
and
see
losers.
guys like bros don't have their legs. Like there was one real leg out of 4 people. And your comment is, "Oh, you must have got hit pretty hard, huh?" No,
Suckers
these
and
fake
losers,
legs
man.
are all for looks.
Yeah.
You stupid fuck. But
Yeah.
then he's signing the hats, the bills of the hats, and handing them out. Now, you want to know why this pisses me off so much, America? Because this piece of shit, on April 4th, we had 4 soldiers that were flown back home who we lost. I believe it was Lithuania. It was a training exercise.
Yeah.
And they had a horrible accident where they basically drowned. The vehicle they were in went into this weird mush area that was like 15 feet deep, and yeah, horrible way to go. But when those soldiers were flown home and their dignified transfer happened at Dover Air Force Base on April 4th, Donald Trump didn't show up again. Now, I want to remind you, these are the same people that moaned and cried and yelled about Joe Biden looking at his watch while he was down there receiving the bodies of our fallen soldiers. At least he showed up.
Yeah.
J.D. Vance, who's a veteran himself, he didn't show up. Pete Hegseth went. Hopefully, he wasn't drunk before they had the bodies come off. But you might ask yourself, what was it that Donald Trump, the president of the United States, was doing that was more important than receiving our soldiers' bodies? Oh, he was down in Florida golfing and at a live golf outing or whatever it was with Saudi Arabia.
Yep, a little tournament that he put on for himself that he won, that he champions.
That was before this video that I just showed you.
Yeah.
So those veterans sat there and let themselves be used like that for a fucking photo op, knowing damn well, maybe they didn't know, but while that piece of shit rapist and felon right there couldn't even be bothered to go down and receive our soldiers. Again, if you're a veteran supporting this guy, you're a dumb fuck. Like, there really isn't. You're a disgrace to the uniform. You're a disgrace to our oath. Like, for those of you out there who took the same oath I did you fucking forget all enemies, foreign and domestic? Do I need to help you figure out what a domestic terrorist is? It's the guy sitting behind the Resolute desk right now.
Yeah.
It's him.
It's tragic.
It's the people that constructed a noose outside of the Capitol on January 6th and went looking for the Vice President of the United States, pretty much at that dude's orders, to hang him, along with Nancy Pelosi and several other people. Yeah. And people voted for him knowing all of that. So
Suckers
again,
and losers, man. It's been burned in my memory when he talked about
it ain't just veterans that suckers and losers.
No.
He thinks he thinks we're all suckers and losers.
Yeah. But when the way he talked about John McCain, I was like, that's all you need to know about how he looks at any military life, especially those wounded.
Like, guys, this is seriously one of the biggest. Like, I don't know any other way to put it besides Trump is a dickless coward. Like, he is such an insignificant person that if you put him in any situation that most veterans have been in, he wouldn't make it. He wouldn't have made it through a week of boot camp.
Well, he's 250 and, he's solid muscle. Like, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah. If he's 250, I've got a fucking 15-inch penis I want to show you. It's just, again, I'm trying not to be aggravated with our side because it's like I'm tired of hearing ideas that we've already tried and don't work.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing ideas that aren't viable. Like, are you just posting this shit to make yourselves feel better? Like, because that's what it feels like at this point. Because you're posting shit that isn't going to happen. Like, it's not viable. And I think most of us know that. So again, are we just posting this shit to make us feel like we're doing something?
Yeah.
Like we've got a hand in the game? Because that's what it feels like right now. Like, we got Cory Booker going out and doing kumbayas and then going right back into the Capitol building and voting for the domestic terrorists' appointments. Again, people, we need to fight. And I'm not saying I know all the answers and all the plans that we need to do, but the plans that I've seen so far being drawn up online, some of y'all are drawing in crayon, and we need something a little better.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, people drawing in crayon are the people that have the power to actually do something. I can sit here and scream all day. I've been doing it for years. But at the end of the day, until the American people give people like me the power, because you guys need more than Jasmine Crockett. And more importantly, you need white people in Congress that are willing to stand up next to and behind Jasmine Crockett and lift her and others like her up and repeat the same shit that they're saying, because that's what needs to be said. They're trying to pull people like Jasmine Crockett and David Hogg and all these people in. They're trying to reel them in because they can't control them. And that's the problem with the Democratic Party. They want to control everything. And Democrats and liberals, they don't like being controlled like that.
Right.
So instead, we need to organize. But to organize, what it feels like my side fails to realize is you need to have leaders. You got to have some generals. You got to have, your foot soldiers. And unfortunately, most of us are going to end up being foot soldiers. There's nothing wrong with that. Every job has a purpose, and it still needs to be done. So yeah, you may not be the person, whose name is on the ticket. You may not be the person that's running for vice president or city council or city board or whatever it is. But you can be the person that's standing up with that person, helping them get elected, or at least sharing their message, sharing their social media posts, because I don't know if y'all have noticed, but social media is here to stay. And it's one of the biggest ways that we communicate now. And it's one of the biggest tools that campaigns are using. So yeah, get on your platform, build a platform. The whole way I started doing this was I put out a video being pissed off and people responded. Like it really happened that easy.
Resonates.
You can do what we're doing. You can come on here too and build a platform and say what you want to say. And you know what? I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
I want to hear your ideas.
Stephanie has a great question though.
What is it?
This is pertaining to what we always talk about. When time comes, which side will the military go with?
Oh, good question. Great question. Here's my fears. Let me tell you what my fears are as a veteran. My fears are that if you look at our police force, and what we talk about a lot is we talk about good cops and bad cops, right? And we always talk about, if there are good cops out there, where are they?
Yeah.
Why aren't they holding their own to said standard? Why aren't they speaking up when they see something that shouldn't be happening? And unfortunately, that atmosphere, that mentality is very, very similar to the mentality in the military. And we've talked about this. The military, the reason I talk about cult tactics a lot is because the military uses a lot of cult tactics. And the reason they use those cult tactics when recruiting and training us is because when that said order comes down, they don't want people like me that are going to sit here and question it. They don't want that. They don't want people thinking for themselves, as crazy as that sounds. They want people that are going to go, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And go do it. Don't ask questions. Don't ask if this is okay. This is what the president ordered. This is what your commander-in-chief ordered. Now go do it. And if you don't think that that's what happens, I don't know what to tell you. Because that's
now,
exactly.
Is there a way to think about it where there is leadership that has some pull? A commander or a general, somebody that the people actually, which history historically has shown, yes. But in the American structure of our military, is there a person that could be underneath Pete Hegseth, underneath somebody that just earns the respect and command, where people were like, no, I rock with him. Like if he's going against them, then that I need to question now my stance on this. Does that exist?
It exists, but it doesn't exist in the way everybody thinks or needs. Let me explain. We've been talking a lot about how Donald Trump is appointing loyalists. Mm-hmm. Pete Hegseth is a loyalist, right? And when Pete Hegseth came in, one of the first things he did was he started getting rid of people that he knew would not be loyalists.
Right.
And one of the first people he got rid of was the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Highly decorated, extremely qualified, black man. I think he was only the second black person to ever hold that, or it might have been the first. One of the two. I can't remember off the top of my head.
He greeted Pete at the front when he first got there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, he was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. And when Pete Hegseth took the job, Trump fired him and brought in General Kane, who himself was not qualified to be chairman of the Joint Chiefs. So they had to get a waiver for him.
Mm.
Now, they got rid of the black chairman because of DEI policies, because he supported DEI policies, and replaced him with somebody that needed a waiver.
Who needed DEI? Yeah. And that's not even DEI.
But that's what they think DEI is. So
Right.
It's like you literally got rid of a qualified person for an unqualified person, and that's what they think DEI is.
Charles Q. Brown is the former chief staff.
Yes, thank you.
They got rid of him, and put in somebody who's mediocre, who needed
White.
a white, who would
So
be a loyalist.
to answer your question, one of the first things they did when they knew they had Pete Hegseth heading up the DOD was they started going down the line and getting rid of generals that they knew they had a problem with. Female, black. If you go look, you'll notice that the people in charge of our military got quite a bit lighter.
Whitewashed.
And back to being a male-dominated thing, which, by the way, that is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Get rid of the women, get rid of the black people, get rid of the brown people. Hell, let's get rid of the indigenous people too. Let's just make it all white, all male. That's Pete Hegseth's idea of a strong military.
I can't wait for his next signal, flop and see what comes out.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be wild.
So, yeah, man. With that, the world's burning, real time.
What's your positive?
So my positive, as you know, I went to the VA today for the first time in 5 years for therapy. I've been going for other stuff, but yeah, when I left Virginia, I just never found a good therapist that I liked. And so I stopped going. But yeah, about 5-6 months ago, and I talked about it on the show back then, but I went trying to get back into talk therapy. I've always had my meds and everything under control with my personal physician. So, but I wanted to get back in and just deal with some things that I've been struggling with. And just, like I told her, I just feel like it's kind of like a tune-up, like an oil change, just kind of, I feel like some things are slipping, like maybe I need some better coping tools. Maybe something I'm not doing that, ASMR was a big thing that I got introduced to that helped me a lot. So, maybe there's another tool or something else that they have now that, that might help me with some of the things I'm dealing with now. So went in and had my first appointment with her. Went really well. She doesn't seem to be a Trump supporter, so that's good. I literally told her, I was like, yeah, if you're a Trump, I literally told her, I said, if you're a Trump supporter, this is going to be a rough time for you. So, but yeah, man. So just a reminder, why we have a president who is trying to cancel suicide hotlines and mental health resources for some Americans.
Yeah.
Please, if you're struggling, use 988, dial it. It does have resources, for our LGBTQ people. Hopefully there's some good resources. I know Canada, I had a number up that Canada actually started a line and it literally was for American LGBTQ people.
Wow.
So, Canada's doing a better job of taking care of Americans, as oddly as that sounds. So, just take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health, because I'm no good to you guys in this fight if I'm not taking care of myself.
Right.
And you're no good to me if you're not taking care of yourself. So let's just all agree that we're going to take care of each other. We're going to take care of ourselves, and we're going to keep fighting, because we can't let these people have our country. And right now, they got a pretty damn firm grip on it. So, yeah, that's my positive.
That's I love to hear that you're really taking care of yourself, and putting in the right steps. And it's interesting because when we talk about like health and everything, I told you that, my son, he had the flu. It's a 103 temp.
Yeah.
He's been home. Cabin fever's kicking in. All these things. But my positive with all this craziness is a shout out to my wife. She, I'm on paternity leave, and so she's back in the workforce, but yet she is like meeting this little dude at the bar every step of the way, and staying the night in his room, because we also have the newborn. So we have to divide and conquer in this moment. But I give her a lot of love because she put on Nurse Betty, right? And like got to work. And it's amazing to see her in this mind frame, where she's documenting everything she's going through. Everything's clockwork of the meds. And I see the moment of where she shines.
Yeah.
Completely. Like it's one of those things where it reminds me of when we were in COVID and I watched how she mobilized and operated, and was like, she was in the ICU working on patients, and it's this thing in her where she runs to danger.
Yeah.
And to see, it's amazing to see this young woman, middle-aged. We're getting middle-aged. This young woman who
Say that again.
No, I'm not saying nothing. So it's amazing to see this beautiful woman run into the situation where I see her shine the most. There's no thought, there's no nothing. It's action. And and here I am just with like a sack of potato, newborn. And I'm like, we're the weakest links in this situation. Here we are,
Seems like we, as the dads, we always get that role for something.
We get that role, but we keep the morale up. That's my job. My job's the morale.
I keep him hydrated.
I keep him hydrated. You know what I mean? Brother man didn't want any Gatorade, nothing like that. He was just like, I just want my water, my milk. That's it. But it's funny to see him get all this time with me. And I laughed about it today. I was like, little man didn't want to go to school today. I could just tell. He was like, oh yeah, let me rub my ears. Yeah, go ahead, check my temperature. He's like, yeah, I just want to stay with dad one more day. Just one more day.
Yep.
So we've been together this whole week, and it's been amazing. As complicated as it can be, navigating flu and trying to keep a newborn away from a toddler. It's a lot.
Yeah,
but at the same time, that was my dance. That was my job. And like I said, Nurse Betty was like, do I trust him with this job? And I'm like, I got this. Don't even worry about it.
And you guys don't have like a 3,000 square foot place either.
We live in a New York little apartment. It's one of those things. So
keeping everybody separate, that ain't easy.
Bro, I said the newborn will not remember this. You may be just in a room by yourself, just locked away. Like, I'm not even worried about it.
Put the camera on and call it a day.
Who has a camera? I'm not even worried about it. I'll hear you. It's so small, the apartment. So I hear you.
That's true.
I'm not even worried about it.
I don't need a speaker.
So it was me really juggling everything. And then of course, Eno and the dog stuff. But my point is, shout out to wifey, holding down the house, and not even just the house. Going to work, coming home, doing sleepovers with little man, making sure he got well. He's over the mend. He's going back to school. Good. Mission accomplished. The infant, I did my job. The infant did not get no flu that we know of yet. Yeah, knock on wood. Nothing yet. So we'll see. Watch, it's going to be that one thing I didn't bleach down. It's going to be like neurovirus in this house. Watch. So we're going to look like a cruise ship.
You'll be on their snot in the next show.
Just looking crazy. I'm like, hey, guys, this is welcome to Hold the Mic. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button. So yeah, but it was just God, it's been a whirlwind of a week, but it was it's coming down where I think we're landing the plane, and it's one of those things where I'm excited to kind of see where things go. So it's beautiful here. New York is in full spring. I have my bike in the shop. We're getting ready to start biking again. So it's like it's just over that mend. And big shout out to wifey. So that's my positive.
Shout out to the wives. Keep us all going.
In check. In check.
Hey, same in this household. I don't know. I always say to my wife every once in a while, man, I don't know what we would do without you. And her reply is always the same. You'd be fine. I'm like, no, bitch, I don't think you understand. It's like, we would not be fine. It would take a long time to be fine.
Oh yeah.
I think we're both fortunate to have, a support system so that, we can have a few hours to do this and other things. And yeah, man, it takes a village, especially when you got a couple of kiddos.
Takes a village. Good thing I'm a big kid though, because I already know I can speak to these kids. I already know what they want.
What was the Ryan freakout count of the day? Jason asked. I don't know
5.
How many. What was it? 5? I thought it was 3.
Nah. There's a little quip. There was a little couple in there.
Yeah, a couple quick ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I mean, again, there's a lot to rant about. You put 5. Fuck you. I hate you sometimes. Jason said average day. 5? That's normal.
That's average. Yeah.
But no, I want you all upset. I want to see some other rants. I want to see other people ranting. I want to see some Ryan rants from you guys. I want to see it in the comments. Tell us you're pissed off. Because you know what? You know who sees our comments? You know who sees the comments? MAGA. Haters. Yeah. And you know what they hate seeing? They hate seeing messages like the ones Ian and I are putting out. They hate seeing them liked and supported and shared. It pisses them off. So like, comment, share, so that we can piss MAGA and Donald Trump off. And trust me, they're seeing it. I just got into an argument with Dean Cain and somebody else. So trust me, come on my page. They see it. The MAGA people, they see it and they hate it. So if you want to fuck with some MAGA people, come and support Hold the Mic. Make sure you subscribe. We're here on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
But most important, like I said, we have a show in the works that's going to be showing us how far along. Yeah, it's a special that's going to be showing us how far along in the Project 2025.
Where we are on the bingo
card.
card.
Where we are in the chapter there.
You know what I'm saying? It really is. Travis, yes, we are live. What up, though?
Yeah. Also, we've had some really good shows over the last few weeks that you guys should all go check out, too. We've had Marcus Flowers on last month. We had Election Truth Alliance on, I think, 2 episodes ago.
Yep.
They've done a lot of good work, and they actually back up their claims with numbers. So for those of you who share us and going, something still feels really off about that election.
Yeah.
That's going to be a really good episode
for you. It was really great to talk to him about that deep dive. And
they're
going to come back.
They're definitely going to come back. And then last episode, it was kind of long, but Malcolm Nance ended up jumping in about an hour in. So I think I'm going to split that episode up and re-upload it with just Malcolm. But it ended up being a really good episode.
Great conversation.
Yeah, Malcolm brings a lot of context that a lot of us miss because he's been in the trenches, and dude's written like 9 books. So and they're pretty good. So those are the kind of people that we're trying to bring on the show. We've got other people lined up that I can't wait to tell you about. But I'm really excited for this special that we've got coming up. As always, though, we wouldn't have a platform without you guys. So for those of you who watch us live on Wednesdays, for everybody that downloads us, for the 31 countries that people are downloading us in, I know I haven't been putting out enough videos saying how much Ian and I appreciate you guys and everything, because there's just been so much content to intake. But we do. We really appreciate all the support, the comments. Even if I don't make it to comment back, I try to like them all so that you at least know that I saw them. So just know that we see you guys out there, and we greatly appreciate the support and everybody amplifying the clips and showing up and commenting and listening to my rants and watching Ian put out the fire. So with that,
here for the ride, baby.
Hey, brother, I love you. So as always, I will leave you with much love. Keep fighting, and whatever you do, punch Nazis in the face. Oh, it's not gonna play. Fuck you, Restream.